Nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Do we have Carey from Washington? Carey, you on with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We got you, brother.
All right.
Everything good in Washington?
Everything is good. It's a little rainy and it's cold, but
Perfect football weather.
It's football weather nonetheless, indeed.
Washington will host the number 23 Fighting Illini at 2:30 tomorrow. We got the Mizzou Vanderbilt game also kicking off at 2:30 tomorrow. We'll preview both games, break those down. We'll also have a college football roundtable, get into some NFL. But unfortunately, we do
let's talk about Mizzou Vanderbilt.
Start off
World
with
Series starts tonight, Anthony. There's a lot to talk about.
the 7-4 loss suffered by our Blues. You know, it was a moment in the third period last night when it was 5-4.
Yeah.
That I thought to myself, all right, these Blues turned it around in the second period. They're playing better now in the third period. We're still in. Oh, now it's 7-4. That's what it felt like.
At one point, as I was walking around the house breaking items, watching the game, I turned to Ashley and I said, Ashley, you remember this night? She goes, why? What? I said, no, the hockey game. I said, you remember this night. This is going to be a huge win for the Blues.
Ooh.
And when they win this game, that's going to be something to remember.
Okay.
And then Clayton Keller scored.
And then you turn to her and you go, you know what? Never mind.
You know what? Remember this night. I was wrong.
Yeah, that was nasty. So the Blues fall behind 4-0 before they even found their game.
Yeah.
Jamie, lots to break down. I don't know if you want to start off with Joel Hofer, the mistakes in front of him.
So,
again, lack of scoring on the first period.
I didn't know where I wanted to go at the beginning of this, but we're just going to dive into it head first. Somebody goes, bad puck luck? No, it was not bad puck luck. It was bad hockey. Let's just be honest. Bad start for the Blues, again on home ice, which is unacceptable. It really is. You know, Jim Montgomery knows. Like, the moment he took over as head coach, he said, I know what it's like to be a St. Louis Blue, and I know what St. Louis Blues fans are wanting. And do you think they want teams that play lackluster hockey in the first period at home?
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so. I know they don't.
I thought the first shift was pretty good, though.
Yeah, Monty says the first 2.5 minutes. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Let's bottle that up and frame it.
It felt like a Cardinals game where it's like,
okay, Marcia, I can do that comparison.
In the first period, or, first inning.
Things are bad enough. We don't need to, compare the Birds and the Blues.
That's what it felt like.
Well, we'll get to the the comparison
Carey,
from last
don't you
night.
start, okay? Don't you start.
I'm sorry.
You're out in Washington. Just enjoy the rain, okay? So, as I'm watching this period unfold, Joel Hofer, bad night at the office. Just bad. I love the guy, and he is a talented goalie. He's going through it right now. 2 starts in a row that have not been ideal for him or the Blues. But Jim Montgomery said it best last night. I grabbed the kid, said, hey, you're a talented young player. We're going to get through this. He's too good. This will not persist. But it is happening right now, which is not great. Let's go through the first 4 goals. I'm not going to go through the whole game. I'm going to make this quick and hopefully painless. Less painful than it was watching it, hopefully, last night. The first goal. All the Blues forwards were on the forecheck. They get caught beneath the goal line. Guess what they don't have?
Somebody in front of the net?
They don't have the puck.
Oh, wait.
It's a tough spot to be in underneath the goal line. That leads to an easy D zone exit for the Mammoth. At that point, Ian Cole able to join the rush because they have numbers now. The Blues forwards are chasing the Mammoth up the ice. Poor Jake Neighbors. He's trying to defend with 2 defensemen. There's 4 Mammoth players. The puck ends up on Cole's stick, and with a really weak shot, scores 5-hole. So a breakdown that ends up with a bad goal. That's a terrible combination.
Got to stay above the puck.
Got to stay above the puck unless you have the puck. Then you can take it down below the goal line, okay?
Yes.
So let's just, for people keeping score at home, with puck, good below the goal line. Without puck, bad. Get above it.
And that's what Jim Montgomery's talking about when he says stay above the puck.
I know we have a lot of outstanding hockey fans here, but people are trying to learn the game a lot. I know you explained this before. Explain above the puck.
Above the puck basically means staying between the puck carrier who has the puck and your net. Be a line of defense. Don't be behind that player because then they call that chasing. Then we were chasing because you're chasing back to the net. So you want to stay above the puck / in front of the puck carrier. We didn't. We had two guys below the puck. Not great. Goal number 2. Puck comes around the wall on poor Dylan Holloway. A little too slow. Defense, if you're going to rim the puck, as I was told by a veteran player one time, if you're going to rim that puck, rim it so it breaks my ankle. Don't rim it so it's because when it's soft, the defenseman has a chance to read that play and pinch down on the forward.
We teach that at the clear camp, too.
Damn right we
It's
do.
one of the drills.
Get up a little higher at the clear camp.
Yeah,
We're looking
Carey.
to break ribs, not ankles. Anyways, so the Utah D pinches down. Then 2 Blues, a captain and a defenseman, go for the same player. That leaves one guy open, and actually there's 2 guys open. And Logan Mailloux. We'd love to dog on this kid right now. I can't play. He's covered 2 guys in front of the net this time. And they weren't like together. They're like 10 feet apart. The poor kid was scrambling. The puck went to his guy in front. He turned, tried to play. Went bump past to Cooley. Nobody in the middle of the ice. One timer, and that was a hell of a goal. Hofer had no chance. Like, I don't know any goalie that's stopping that. But again, it's a breakdown. We leave a guy stranded on an island, Mailloux, and we're going to blame him for this, although it has nothing to do with him. And ends up in the back of the net. 3rd goal.
No.
Bad puck placement. Pius Suter, very smart player. We got him because he's a hard worker, good net front presence, smart with the puck. This was terrible. The puck goes right to him. Logan Mailloux jumps up the ice like he's supposed to. That middle defenseman is supposed to join the rush, push the pace up the ice. He does that. Pius Suter shoots the puck off the boards 20 feet in front of him. So now what happens is the Mammoth get the puck, and the Blues are going the wrong way. They're going forward without the puck. Logan Mailloux now is like stuck up there. And so what do the Mammoth do? They turn that thing, they turn and burn, and then 22, Pius Suter, who started this mess, now he makes a bad read at the blue line. They chip it past him, turns into like a 3-on-1. And Logan Cooley again comes in. Terrible goal, by the way. Beautiful little between the legs to the backhand. Then the backhand, he's trying to go shelf. He whiffs on it, goes down between the legs of Joel Hofer again. But it started with bad puck placement. Remember we talked about that puck management? That's what that is. That's bad puck management. And the 4th goal, just to put a bow on all of this, the 4th goal is a power play goal for the Mammoth. And what did they do? They simplified things. And we're going to get into special teams later on because I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing right now by the Blues power play. But as far as the Mammoth are concerned, they spread out the zone, 1, 2, 3 pass, and then Sergachev, all he does is moves, finds a shot lane, fires it at the net. It hits Schmaltz's stick. The stick breaks. Or not, that's the wrong one. That was the last goal. This one hits in front, and the Blues get out-battled in front. 2 Mammoth players against Broberg. Cooley gets the rebound. There's his 3rd goal of the night.
Now, Jamie, I was always told on a power play that you pass it as many times as possible and then not shoot. I was told you have to stick handle that.
Friday. I'm trying to keep my cool here, man.
Carey and I were told that you got to stick handle that mother for at least 1 minute and 45 seconds of a power play.
At least, bare minimum.
Yeah, pass it around and then never shoot. That's kind of what I've been told.
Well, we're going to get into that later, and that's a strategy right now that's being used by a certain team.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and correct that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Jamie, I was looking at that Clayton Keller goal. It looked like you talked about Pius Suter. That was being a terrible pass, which I thought it was on the 3rd goal. But on the Clayton Keller goal, it almost looked like he was watching the play and not watching Clayton Keller skate right behind him.
So on that play there, CD, and I hate to sewer my guy Colton Parayko, there's a play that has to happen there. And Pius Suter is back checking, but we have a rule as a defenseman. And I was told by Al McInnes, my very 2nd or 3rd year in league, don't ever trust the forwards. Okay? Because the forwards are going to tell you.
That's a hell of a philosophy.
Yeah, he said the forwards are going to tell you, I got my guy. No, you don't. No, you don't. And on that one there, Pius Suter looked like he had his guy. So Colton Parayko tries to cut the ice in half by forcing over towards Cam Fowler so that it's a 3-on-3 in the neutral zone. Problem is, Pius Suter really didn't have his guy. So now Colton Parayko slides over to cut the ice in half. Pius Suter's a step and a half behind. That pass goes to Clayton Keller. And then if you watch Colin Parayko, he takes a terrible route on that one. He comes in forward, and what he should do is open up. You always try to keep your belly button facing the puck as a defenseman. That way the play never gets behind you. Jimmy Roberts told me that a long time ago. Keep your belly button on the puck. That way there's no surprises. It was a good philosophy. But that means Colin Parayko would have had to open up then, belly button following the puck, and he would have seen Clayton Keller open before he got the puck. Would have given him a competitive advantage then to cut him off. But he doesn't. He skates forward, turns his back to the middle of the ice. He's working his way back towards the middle of the ice, but he turns his back on the play for a split second, loses sight of the puck, loses sight of the open player, and that puts him a half a step behind, which ultimately led to Clayton Keller getting that puck and getting it off. And I didn't like the goal. I think Jordan didn't shit out the one.
It's a good breakdown.
Critical enough for everybody out there? Welcome to Friday in the Fast Lane.
Probably not, honestly. Probably not. Not for some people. But a great breakdown nonetheless. Here's Jim Montgomery. You want to hear from the coach? Here's Jim Montgomery on the game as a whole.
Oh, Carey.
Jamie.
Actually, first 2.5, 3 minutes, until the first goal was scored. It was just an up and down, even game. Teams playing fast, playing hockey. Don't like our response after we give up the first goal. The rest of the first period was very lackluster. Then I like the way our team played after that. We built something. We improved our intensity. Our habits got better. You're down by 4 goals. It's going to be a tough task, and we got it close. Unfortunately, we had opportunities on the power play to tie it up. We weren't able to do it. They got a power play and they extended the lead, and that sealed the game.
Is this just a thing where bad play starts to permeate through the locker room? Because your breakdown. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Your breakdown of the 4 goals included veteran players, included some of the young players.
Every position.
Yeah. So, is it just one of those things? And Carey, I know it's different in football, but you see one thing happen, then everybody starts to press maybe a little bit, then the next thing happen, and it's just these are veteran players that have been in the league for a long time. They have specific roles. A guy like Pius Suter is signed for a very specific reason, and the mistakes continue to pile up. So that's why I ask you, does it start to permeate through the locker room?
And I'm going to say no.
Okay.
And here's what my explanation is. You can't play good, systematic, checking, tight hockey when you're down by 2 or 3 goals. You can't, because you have to open it up. The clock becomes your enemy.
Sure.
And the scoreboard is obviously your enemy. 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. You got to open that wide open now.
So it's like we got to ditch the run. We have to
air it out.
And now the opponent knows.
Now the opponent knows. They drop more guys into coverage. All that stuff. You can't start that bad. You can't. Especially on home ice. Mm-hmm. You have last change. And you're supposed to be jacked up. And the Blues, this is what pisses me off, is this is the same team, pretty much, that went, 14 or 15 games in a row at home without losing in the back half of last year. Let's go back to that, boys. Remember that feeling? Where it was an automatic on home ice?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got to get back to.
I do have one more question for you guys. Is it the uniforms?
People are talking about it.
You know what, guys? I'm not going there.
They changed up the unis. We all love them, but
they won on Saturday in the old uniforms against the Dallas Stars.
It's something to think about.
Yeah, certainly something.
Carey, your thoughts?
Carey left. He went to the bathroom.
Carey left. Okay. He's so disgusted.
He literally left.
So disgusted by us, by the Blues, that he left. All right. It's fast.
He also had those tacos earlier, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Washington tacos?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're a fan of another team, a certain football team, as well as a fan of the Blues, you had yourself a real bad night. I don't know who was worse last night, the Blues or Marsh's Vikings. We'll talk about that beatdown next on 101 ESPN. were only watching the Blues last night, or if you maybe stopped watching after 4-0 and took a look at the NFL game, you saw a lot of the same, just pure domination from one team. I thought that was one of the uglier games the Vikings have had under Kevin O'Connell.
Anthony, it was terrible.
They did damn near nothing right on either side of the ball. And I told you, Marsh, after the pick six was turned over, no pun intended, I thought the Vikings went into a shell. I thought they completely imploded because they didn't get the pick six. The Chargers and Justin Herbert went straight down the field. They go up 7, eventually 14. Minnesota settles for a field goal only to get answered back by the Chargers, who made it 21-3. And then because Will Riker didn't hit a 70-yarder right before half, it winds up going 21-3. At no point did I think the Chargers weren't going to score, nor did I think Carson Wentz and the Vikings were going to do anything offensively. I thought it was absolutely pathetic, especially after what we just saw the Colts do to the Chargers 5 days ago. 6 days ago.
I've been trying to tell you guys.
Well,
Before Marsh rants, Carey, and we let the boy get his therapy session in, did you see absolutely anything different?
No, the Chargers were dominant in all facets and all phases. Up front, they were getting after the quarterback. They were putting pressure on Carson Wentz every chance they got. A lot of I saw some very good schemes and some stunts that they ran that were difficult to pick up. I saw some times where the running backs and the offensive line were unable to do their job properly. But all in all, the Chargers were the better team. The Vikings had nothing going. Carson Wentz at times looked lost. He looks injured. He has this huge brace on his left elbow, which who the hell knows what's going on there. It looked like he was going to be out of the game when he just went up to bat that ball down at one point. But it was a tough outing for the Minnesota Vikings. And this is kind of, you're dealing with injuries. You've dealt with injuries on the defense. You're dealing with injuries on the offensive line. You're dealing with injuries at your starting quarterback. Like, this is who they are. Like, they are not a good football team, and it doesn't matter who's coaching them. It doesn't matter what you try to get out of them. They're not able to block. They're not able to run. They're not able to tackle. And that interception that was called back, that may have it shouldn't have changed the game in that manner, but it is a kind of a letdown when you're unable to get those points, and your offense is unable to move the ball and score points on their own.
The Chargers didn't punt. I don't even think they threatened to punt.
Good.
I mean,
those guys wide open, all up and down the field. All up and down the field, they're just wide open.
I have the utmost respect for Brian Flores, but you're right. The Chargers did whatever they wanted to him.
And then Justin Herbert just ran all over the field. Mm-hmm. Make a tackle. Make sure that somebody put a spy on him or something. Rob, just run for a first down. Nobody's
Anthony,
open.
I
run
heard,
for a first down.
I heard you yesterday when you were talking about Justin Herbert and your disappointment in him. Mm-hmm. Yesterday is the Justin Herbert that you need to see. You run the ball for 207 yards and he throws the ball for 227. That's the best version of Justin Herbert that the Los Angeles Chargers. I was on the Justin Herbert train. You brought me over, and now I'm back to where I was at.
Well, good.
You want to win football games, run the damn ball, and let Justin Herbert throw it 25 times, and you're probably going to win.
What did I tell you guys yesterday? If your favorite team, yes, your favorite team is struggling in some capacity, once you play the Minnesota Vikings,
you'll be good to go.
All those things go away. All of them go away.
I'm sorry, man. I feel bad for you because I not to be one of those guys, and I'm going to be him right now. I told you so, man. I told you that this damn team, they won 14 games last year. It ain't going to happen, so quit asking.
Yes, but if this was, J.J. McCarthy was who we thought would be the quarterback. If this is what the team ultimately looks like with him at the quarterback spot, I'd say, yeah, okay. But, I want to see him play quarterback. I'd rather.
No, you don't, Marsh.
What's up?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, I think he does.
No, I do.
I mean, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is a train
sick of
wreck.
watching Carson Wentz play football. He's like Scott Sterling out there. Every time he gets injured, I'm thinking, oh, man, this might be the time where I get to watch Max Brosmer come in and play. But no, Scott Sterling is out there playing quarterback for my favorite team. He will just simply not give up, and I'll give him credit for that. He was a gamer.
Just won't die.
He won't die. Like, it's like Kevin O'Connell keeps putting him out there.
I got to say though, even with and I realize you want to see the kid play because it's at least you have some sort of hope.
If he's bad, he's bad. Then
right. And then you got to start over.
Exactly.
But you don't want to see this.
Just throw him out there. At least let him play.
But I will say this: you couldn't run the ball.
No, I mean the whole team is bad.
I can't believe. Every time Jordan Mason or one of the backs got the ball, Aaron Jones came back last. As soon as they got the ball, CD, I'm sure you saw this too. At least one defender, if not two defenders, were on those running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an absolute pathetic performance offensively by that O-line.
So bad. They looked worse than the Texans on Monday Night Football.
When Carson Wentz did have time.
Yeah,
I mean, it was bad. I don't know. That was bad last night, though.
Yeah, Carey, it was bad last night. Carey, they were at the quarterback before the ball was snapped, it felt like.
Carson Wentz took a sack on a fourth down play. 4th and goal, he took a sack. He was bailed out because one of the corners from the Chargers got his hands on a receiver. That was it. And they wound up getting the touchdown to Jordan Addison, but he's shell-shocked. You got no running game. The defense, I mean, it's done.
Well, Kevin,
I don't think Carson Wentz didn't perform well, but it's hard to perform when there are always people at your feet, at your legs, rushing you, and you're not able to step in the throws. He threw the one pass, and he hit Khalil Mack on the helmet. Like, if you are unable to follow through, step up in the pocket, and you're always constantly facing pressure, you really don't know what you have as a quarterback. And I just be honest with you. And I think if J.J. McCarthy is going to be under that same duress, the result is not going to, because it's not about just solely about the quarterback.
Yeah,
that's why I always laugh when people are, well, he's got 6 championships. No, his team does, because if the offensive linemen don't block, you're not going to win. And we've seen that with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl when his offensive line didn't block. They didn't win.
Both of the losses were because of that.
Because they can't
the
block
Eagles were better.
anyone. So it's about the entire team. And when J.J. McCarthy, the issues you're going to have, in my opinion, with J.J. McCarthy is he hasn't faced enough of those looks, and he's going to be under duress. It's probably going to be worse. Because at least with Carson Wentz, you have a veteran quarterback who has understood some of those schemes, understands those coverages, understands how he's being rushed, has been hit in the face multiple times, and will get up. He's tough as nails, which is why Kevin O'Connell keeps throwing him out there. But with J.J. McCarthy, there's going to be another level of frustration, because not only is he a younger player, a rookie, essentially, he hasn't even played a full season worth of games yet. He hasn't faced that type of intensity or that type of pressure or that type of duress, and it's going to be worse for him. And that's why I think J.J. McCarthy, listen, I've sprained my ankle 15 times. I've had all variations, high ankle sprains, just rolled it over, the same ankle. I told Anthony when I was leaving the other day, the doctor asked me, did you break your leg at some point? Because I think I sprained my ankle so bad that it looks like I broke my leg. He would be playing if he could be playing. I don't think it's the injury that's keeping him out. I think it's the fact that they don't want to get this young man killed. And Kevin O'Connell is seeing what his offense is doing. And they don't want to put him in there, man. I wouldn't.
Well,
I wouldn't be eager to put a rookie
you have to
sign the toe tag. Then sign the toe tag. You have to. You look. You passed. You
do more damage to a younger player than to a veteran player when you're under that type of pressure. When your offense is not able to run the ball, when you're not able to pass the ball, and he doesn't know if he already has trouble figuring out where the ball should go. When it's routes on air or when there's nobody blitzing him, the amount of pressure he's going to be in when there are people in his face it's going to be 3 or 4 pick sixes, and then you're really going to be looking like, oh my God, this kid can't play it out.
So what you're saying is CD is tank.
I'm not saying tank.
I'm saying, because that's what you're going to be doing.
and get healthy. Because you're not tanking. You're not tanking if you leave Carson Wentz in.
Oh, I think
because
so.
he's probably going to give you the best chance to win.
Carey.
All right.
Carey.
Can somebody?
If Carson Wentz starts another game, I'll put this out right now. If he starts next week, I'm not watching the game. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not watching the game.
I want someone to bookmark this segment.
I won't watch the game.
Come back to it. When J.J. McCarthy throws 2 or 3 interceptions, and he doesn't know where to throw the ball, he doesn't know who to throw the ball to, because he's nervous of being hit because the offensive line can't protect. So if you are tanking, you would be putting him in.
Yeah, but
if you're not trying to tank, you go with the person that gives you the best option. Not saying that the option is the best option or the greatest option, but it's the better of the two.
It can't be, though.
Okay, but even if look, Carey, I don't think you're wrong about McCarthy. I don't. Let me just full stop on that. I don't think you're wrong about McCarthy at all. If he doesn't play, though, now we're looking at a year and a half,
right,
if not 2 years, of him not playing any football. Mm-hmm. So I think you have to throw him to the wolves. If he gets destroyed, okay. But you learn nothing by putting Carson Wentz back under center, in my opinion.
Well, and my whole thing is, we've talked about rookie quarterbacks, which I keep saying rookie. I know he's in his second year, but he's essentially a rookie. Rookie quarterbacks being thrown to the wolves. Sam Darnold was thrown to the wolves in New York. They literally had him on the sideline where they shouldn't have played the audio, but he said, "I'm seeing ghosts," because he's a young player getting pressured, getting hit in the face. He doesn't know where the blitz is coming from, and he doesn't know where the receivers are going to be open at. You do more damage to a young player by throwing him to the wolves and just saying, "Get out there and figure it out." You're going to kill his confidence, and you might get him killed. But hey, you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out.
I then throw Max Brosmer in there. I cannot watch Carson Wentz play another football game. I can't. He's so bad, Anthony. He's so bad. I feel bad for the guy, too, because he grew up a Minnesota Viking fan, and the guy's putting his life out there. He's just getting hit. He looked like Scott Sterling last night. He's so bad. One other thing, Brian Flores, in my opinion, has coached himself out of a head coaching job.
Wow.
I can't agree with that. I think Brian Flores is who he is. He's going to pressure you. And as an offensive mind, I have to go into the game knowing I expect pressure on every snap, on every down, no matter the down and distance. And if I expect pressure and I can prepare for that and block it, then I'm good. If he doesn't blitz, we're still good. We got more time than we thought we were going to have. Brian Flores is going to do what he's going to do. I think they've been banged up in the secondary. I think they've been banged up. Harrison Smith missed the first 5 or 6 games, didn't he? 4 or 5 games. Like people, when you get back into the game after missing that much time, you don't just fall back into your regular playing habits. Sometimes it takes you a couple of weeks to get back into the routine. So they've been banged up. Cashman missed 3 or 4 weeks. He was on IR. When you get back, you don't just return to the level that you were. Most people don't. Some aliens out there named Adrian Peterson, they're capable of doing that. But most people who are not aliens take some time, 2 to 3 weeks, to get back into the routine of things before they're playing at the level that they want to play at. I think you're just frustrated, Marshy. I'm sorry, brother.
Well, I obviously I am frustrated, but I mean, if you're throwing Jeff Okudah out there, man, like, what are we doing? He's so bad. He's not good. He hasn't been good. You let Cam Bynum go to the Colts. They're doing pretty well. I'm frustrated. If Carson Wentz plays next week, I'm not watching. You heard it here first.
On 101 ESPN. Tonight is game 1 between America's Canadian team, Blue Jays, versus Carey's Dodgers. The Blue Jays got a better shot of beating the Dodgers than the Yankees did. We'll get into it next on 101 ESPN.
All right, Circus Sports coming to Missouri December 1st. Mark your calendar. It's going to be an awesome day. But from now until then, you can still use Circus Sports. Just download the Circus Sports Illinois app today. You can find it on the website or the App Store. It's very user-friendly. You can bet on your favorite teams and players with ease. It's sports betting the way it should be. They've got great parlays available, player props, all of that stuff. NHL is in full swing, and I love me some NHL. Tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs playing the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. Buffalo coming off a big win, but not tonight. Toronto Maple Leafs on the money line, minus 125. I'm taking that over with my Circus Sports Illinois app. They've got tight money line splits over there and always the best odds available of any app that you can download. They have the best odds, bigger payouts, high betting limits, and again, it's super user-friendly, lots of fun to use. So please don't miss out on any of the action. Make sure you download your Circus Sports Illinois app today and join in on all of the excitement that Circus Sports has going on right now here in the area. So please do that immediately. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the Utah Mammoth last night by a final score of 7-4. They made it interesting as the game progressed, but unfortunately unable to pick up the win. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN as they take on the Detroit Red Wings. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We'll talk with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider, with The Athletic at 3:30, so stay tuned for that. But we're going to dive into the World Series, Game 1 between Mama River's Blue Jays and Carey Davis's Dodgers. Game 1 tonight. Pregame starts at 6. First pitch is at 7. We'll talk about the Fall Classic next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this SportsCenter update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Game 1 of the World Series is tonight. We have the coverage for you right here on 101 ESPN. The pregame starts at 6. First pitch is at 7.
Let's go, baby.
Do you guys think the Blue Jays, and really, Carey, we know how you feel.
Carey, sit this one out.
All right.
Do you guys... No, Carey, don't go anywhere. Do you guys think the Blue Jays have a better shot of upsetting the Dodgers than the Yankees did?
I do. Personally, I think it's a better team. Obviously, they beat the wheels off the Yankees. So when you look
I'm talking about last year's Yankees.
Oh, last year's Yankees.
Yeah.
Well, I think this Blue Jays team's deeper. As hard as that, as difficult as that might be to accept. But now, with Bo Bichette coming back to this lineup, which he says he is, it looks like he's going to, that's another guy. That's another dude in your lineup. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is doing his best imitation of Reggie Jackson as much as he can.
Yeah.
He's playing fantastic. I don't know. There's something about this Blue Jays team that maybe the flash isn't there, and maybe the numbers for the players aren't the same as the Yankees. The Yankees had some higher end guys. But it feels, though, like the Blue Jays have some dudes.
They're scrappy.
Yeah, they're scrappy. They're not going to go away. The pitchers, they don't care if they go 7, 8 pitchers deep in a game. Like, don't worry, we'll figure it out tomorrow type thing. I think the Blue Jays are going to give the Dodgers more of a series than what a lot of people think. That's my. Do I think they're going to win? I don't. They don't favor to win, so I can't say, they're going to win. I can't be like ridiculous, but I think it's going to be more of a series than people are making it out to be.
Carey?
No.
Okay.
I think the you're welcome, Gary. I think the Dodgers have figured some things out, and Anthony, often I give you credit.
Thank you.
Because I'll go back to tip my cap. If I had one, I would tip it to you. I take it back to the World Baseball Classic when I think we were talking about it then. All of the great players that the American team, USA team had, and the Japan team had. Shohei Ohtani. And we talked about it at that point, how great pitching will always be better for a team than great hitting. Well, the unfortunate thing for most of baseball is the Dodgers have both. Blake Snell is at I think, .86 ERA this postseason. He's starting tonight.
He's about to blow up, though, CD.
I don't think so. He went 8 innings. And everyone, that's one of the best performances in the world. And then Yamamoto said, hold my beer, I'll go 9. And then Shohei said, I'm better than both of you guys. I'll show you how it's really done. I'll strike out 10, and I'll hit 3 bombs. You won't be able to do anything with that. So when you couple great pitching, and Anthony, I don't know why you're just being stubborn. Because you are spiteful and you hate the Dodgers, but if I took a peek into the window of your soul, you would tell me the truth. If I gave you the truth serum that they gave Arnold in the movie True Lies, you would tell me that the Dodgers are the best team in baseball and the Blue Jays have no chance in hell. But you won't do it. But I know you want to. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, Carey. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay.
Please do.
I'm going to be honest with you. This 4-man front for the Dodgers, Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, and Shohei, have been so dominant in October. Multiple 8 to 10K games, 2 complete or near complete starts for 2 of those gentlemen in Milwaukee. Elite chase, cross-shape pitches. I mean, splitters, split change, slider mix. I mean, they're throwing the kitchen sink at these guys. Generational top-end talent for the Dodgers.
Thank you.
Clear edge Dodgers with the pitching.
Correct.
Kevin Gausman, key figure for Toronto, but they're starting a rookie tonight in game 1 in Trey.
Yeah, they don't have a book on him.
You Savage.
They don't have a book on him. You're a savage, too.
Thank you. Yeah, this pitching's too much. Blue Jays don't have a chance.
You know who also was a young buck? Game 1 World Series. Dominated faces. That's right, Anthony Reyes. 2006.
Yep.
Who saw that coming?
Nobody, especially not USA Today, who predicted the Tigers would win in 3. Of course, you can't do that. No, you got to win in 4. Yeah, no, this is the pitching matchup. I don't think the Blue Jays have a better shot of beating the Dodgers than the Yankees did. The pitching is just too lopsided. Now, maybe if I've said this before with the bullpens. I liked Milwaukee's bullpen more than the Dodgers' bullpen. I like the Blue Jays' bullpen a little bit more than the Dodgers. But the problem is, it doesn't matter when Blake Snell goes 8 and Yamamoto goes 9. You don't need the bullpen. So,
disgusted with your behavior.
There's no way the Dodgers lose this World Series.
Anthony, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
You wanted me to be honest.
I know what you're doing because you are my brother, and I know what you're doing. I don't like it, but I respect it.
Thank you.
You know, I don't like it at all. I know what you're doing. Those that are watching and listening, they may or may not know what you're doing. You are doing that thing that you do, and we all do it. Where if I root for this team, then put a little hex on them. You know, I think Al Michaels did that with with Cameron Dicker last night. This guy hasn't missed a field goal all year. Look what I did now. So I know what you're doing, right? And it's okay. You can be honest because I'm looking at this starting rotation, and you can talk about how terrible the Dodgers bullpen is. Who would know, Anthony? How would you know?
I know.
They don't get to him. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
Blake Snell, ERA 0.86. Yamamoto, 1.83. Glasnow, 0.68. The worst one amongst them is Shohei, and he's at 2.25. And if that's your worst, Anthony, come on.
That's what I'm saying.
Where the run's going to come from?
Dodgers are going to roll.
You know what, Carey?
I know.
Dodgers in 3.
Carey, you know what?
Yeah. Give me 4.
Carey, you know what? Listening to you and Anthony, I agree. There's no chance the Blue Jays win even a game in this one. Dodgers are going to sweep this thing with ease. All the Canadian people
I hope you're listening to your child at this moment.
Yeah, all the Canadian people that have their faces painted blue and all that stuff today. I mean,
just wipe it off.
No. Cheer on your team. I mean, enjoy the moment. Yeah. Enjoy the 4 games that you're in the World
March enjoyed the
Series.
Vikings last night. Come on.
Yeah, similar.
Oh my gosh! Can we just talk about how bad of a night that was for me? It was just a terrible night.
Biggest Blues fan you'll ever meet, biggest Vikings fan you'll ever meet, and both of his teams got taken behind the woodshed last night, much like the Blue Jays are going to be
times.
Was there a
taken
hat
behind the
trick?
woodshed.
Because that's 2 of 3. Is there one more thing that went poorly for you last night? Like, did you stub your toe? Did you drop your food?
Bad meal?
Something?
I'm trying to think.
Like you look up and then there's no toilet paper left, like in the entire house?
I did get to bet the board. Buchnevich did score a goal last night.
That was one of them.
Yeah, and 2 of them.
Maybe 2, yeah.
Because he had the goal and he had the bet the board.
Oh, that's right.
Although I would have flipped those 2 things. You know, I would have taken the loss and bet the board and no goal for even one of those teams to win a game. But maybe the Blue Jays can make my soul feel a little bit better today.
Not going to happen.
Okay.
Dodgers in 3. All right. Let's do what's trending next on 101 ESPN. Well, the NBA is rolling right now. The last couple of days have been fun, at least on the court. With the Underdog, they're the best place to get in on all the action. You can make your entries and win money right now in our state of Missouri. You can play at Underdog. Just choose whether or not certain players will go higher or lower on their stats. You got all the matchups tonight. Kevin Durant is taking on the Pistons. You got the Greek Freak in Toronto. Maybe you like Giannis to go higher than 30.5 points. Luka had a huge game the other night. They're taking on the Timberwolves. Maybe you don't think that this is a Luka night. You go lower on his point total, which is 31.5. However you want to set up your card is completely up to you. But if you get all your entries right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash, and you can play for as little as $1. And they've got NHL, they've got NFL, they've got college football too. It's not just NBA at Underdog. Download the app today. Use the promo code Anthony to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, that promo code is just my first name, Anthony, when you sign up. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present. Missouri terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, I want to talk about some players that are coming back from injury for their team. The question I had in mind, the answer is pretty obvious, but Bo Bichette. He's going to start at second base. He's batting cleanup in game one. Bo Bichette is back. Lamar Jackson back for the Ravens. The question I had was who will have the more or the bigger impact for their team, their respective team. I think the answer is Lamar Jackson, but let's sort of dive into both of these players. Bo Bichette is this a tough spot for the Blue Jays? Even if he's not, 100%, are you still playing him despite the guys that got you there to the World Series? And what do you think about that situation?
No, Bo Bichette's playing.
Yeah, game one, I'm giving him the hat. What do you call that? The tip of the cap.
Tip of the cap?
Yeah, I was going to call it the tip of the hat. That's really not the thing, is it?
No. I mean, you could, but
depends what kind of hat you get. Never mind. Tip of the cap is going to be the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And
the go-ahead.
Give him the nod.
The nod. Yeah, the go-ahead.
The nod.
You said the nod.
Yeah, the nod.
I say the knob of the bat is each player's preference, by the way.
No.
Carey. But no, Bo Bichette definitely gets the nod.
There you go.
And if he's unable to perform or feels like he doesn't look right, whatever, after game one, that's when the manager has to step in and say, hey, look, buddy, we love you, we get you, but it's not working. Mm-hmm. But if it does work, you go with it, man, because if he's right, he helps your team.
Well, it's a risky play, too, because you're putting him on the World Series roster, and if he is unable to perform to the expectation level that you hope he can, well, then you're just wasting a spot, and then he becomes perhaps a bench bat.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, you got to roll with your guys.
Oh, absolutely.
What's your problem with Bo Bichette?
I have no problem.
I feel like you brought that up with an axe to grind. Don't you feel like that?
What are you doing?
Do you have an axe to grind with Bo?
No.
Yeah.
For Beulah?
We'll get to them.
Okay.
We'll get to them.
I'm just wondering, because you strategically bring up certain players and dog on them sometimes. I'm just
what
like,
are you
I don't
talking
understand.
about? I'm asking questions.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drum up some conversation
Anthony,
here.
write this one down. We'll see.
Got it, buddy.
You know what?
We'll follow up on
You're
this
right.
later.
You're right. I'm rooting for the Dodgers. Carey, let's go. Here we go.
257.
Carey and I, when Carey and I root for the same team in a championship round, it typically works out. I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
I agree. You should join sides with
terrible people.
Yeah, you combine. You and CD combine. Good things happen when you guys are on the same side.
You guys are terrible, man.
All right, let's talk about Lamar Jackson now. What are you expecting from Lamar, and how different does this Ravens team look with him in it, despite, the other side of the football also being a factor?
Having Lamar back obviously is I told you all that the offense changes tremendously when he's not in there, because you're not able to do some of the same things you were able to do schematically on that offense because of the run zone run reads and things of that nature. It alleviates a huge problem that you have had over these last few weeks when he's not healthy. It doesn't change anything defensively because he doesn't play cornerback. He doesn't play safety. You got to get those guys back and be healthy. But it does add value to the team because now the defense is not going to be on the field as much. They're not going to be, in those pressurized situations where you're maybe down or having to do something different defensively, because now your offense is able to put points on the board. They're able to hold the ball and kind of manage the clock a little bit better, give your defense more of a rest as they sit on that sideline, and get back on the field after touchdowns as opposed to getting back on the field after punts. So Lamar does change and shift a lot of things for this offense and for this team, but they still got to find a way to get some stops defensively hopefully after Lamar and that offense can score some touchdowns.
Yeah, so Lamar is questionable, but he had a limited practice on Wednesday, limited practice on Thursday, full practice today. So he's going to play. Zay Flowers, full practice all week, despite dealing with the shoulder injury. He's going to play. Kyle Hamilton, limited on Wednesday, full on Thursday, full on Friday. So they're going to get their best offensive player back in Lamar and their best defensive player back in Kyle Hamilton. Marlon Humphrey, last 2 days, full practice. Roquan Smith, last 3 days, full practice. Ronnie Staley, full practice Wednesday and Thursday, rested today. He's going to play. The Ravens are healthy now.
Let's go, baby.
This is when they start their ascension. Now, I don't know if they're going to be any rust with Lamar on Sunday. The Bears, upstart team, played well the last couple of weeks. They're not 4-2, but they're gonna get the Ravens' best shot here. So I think it's going to be huge for them. All right, that's what's trending. Special teams, a big part of the loss last night for the Blues. Jamie didn't like what he saw on a couple of fronts there, namely the power play. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, fun.
Let's get dirty, St. Louis. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Please stop by Dirt Cheap on your way home. You got so many things to have a great time watching. This weekend tonight, the World Series starts. Blue Jays against Carey's Dodgers. Hopefully the Blue Jays can do something there. Then tomorrow night, you got your Blues again. Little redemption game in Motown against the Red Wings. You got Mizzou, Vanderbilt, all of these games. You're going to want to get together with some friends, family, enjoy a cold beverage or two. That's where Dirt Cheap comes in. And by the way, on your way home tonight, if you download the Dirt Cheap Rewards app, you can place an order to pick up or even have it delivered to your home. A lot of great deals on the app. They got the exclusive Bourbon Club. I am a member. And they also have a little bit of a heads up, and there's a raffle for some allocated bourbons. It really is worth downloading. So please do so and use it because you start saving immediately when you do. Dirt Cheap has everything you're looking for, all the great cold beers and vodkas, bourbons, red wine, white wine, anything you need for your party. Dirt Cheap has you covered. So please stop by any of the locations. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. You can always visit cheapcheapfunfun.com. Again, that's cheapcheapfunfun.com. Remember to have fun this weekend, but please be careful out there.
For your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey Davis joining us from the road as the Illini get ready to take on the Washington Huskies tomorrow afternoon in Seattle. Jamie, we had brought this up in the opening segment, breaking down the Blues' ugly loss last night to the Mammoth. You had kind of teased it that the special teams, it was an issue once again last night. And there was one thing, several things actually, that you did not like what you saw out of the Blues, specifically in that third period when the game really was still kind of hanging in the balance. It was 5-4, and I thought maybe when the Blues got their power play opportunity, they could have tied the thing up, but sloppy again.
Yeah, so here's where I'm at with this, and I don't know why it keeps creeping into the Blues game, because if we go back to the start of last season, it was very much the same. Pass the puck around the perimeter. Every time you get a pass, stick handle it for a second or two, then move it to someone who's open, stick handle it for a second or two, then move it to somebody else, stick handle it for a second. I can tell you from past experience, as my career went on, I didn't have the luxury of playing power play, but I was a penalty killer. And let me tell you, as a penalty killer, any time that puck stops moving for 1 second, let alone longer, thank you. It gives me a chance to readjust, get my stick back into a good passing lane, stop, get back my body into position for the next pass. And when that pass goes, take another second or two, please, thank you. Those are times where I'm not scrambling. There's no panic. You're 5-on-4. That's a regular power play. Move the puck fast. And I've said this before. It doesn't have to be a pass that ends up being a home run. All you're trying to do is move the puck as fast as you can to create a seam somewhere. Mm-hmm. Whether that seam is through the top of the diamond on the penalty killers, whether it's the bottom of the diamond down near in front of the net where we see those, goal line to goal line, the pass, and a little one-time in the back of the net, or if the seam is right down Broadway where the defenseman can get a shot on goal. Right now, the way the Blues are playing their power play, they get in the zone, they got tons of talent, and they do a good job of protecting the puck. They wait. They make a nice a release pass that takes the pressure off. And then it's like, we're good. Pass the puck over to Holloway. I'm going to put it in a spot where he can't one-time it. I don't want him to one-time it because that's too much of an effective play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it slightly behind him so he has to get the puck, stick handle it back to a shooting spot. But then when he does that, there's a guy fronting the puck at that point. So then what I want him to do is pass it back to me, who's not in a one-timer spot. And now I have to wait again and stick handle the puck some more. I'm going to go back to Holloway, but I'm going to put it on his backhand this time by accident so he can't one-time it again. See where I'm headed?
Yeah. A little clunky.
It's clunky, and it's moving like... only a couple of times have they put that bumper into position to where it's worked. And I'm going to say this. This is going to stir up the hornet's nest. I can tell you that right now. This is where the Blues miss Zach Bolduc. It really is. And I know it's poking the hornet's nest, but let's go back to the latter part of the season last year and beginning of the playoffs. When you had Thomas, Snuggerud, Bolduc, you had Fowler, you had Booch out there. Anytime that puck went into the middle of the ice, it was as good as gold that Bolduc was one-timing that on net, or somebody overcompensated and covered him so tight because they knew he was a threat. And then that opened up other possibilities. I love Pavel Buchnevich, but I don't know if he can one-time a puck. Like, I know he can, but not to the level of being a threat in the middle of the ice. And so when the Blues are moving it around, watch the opposition. They're spreading that diamond out to a degree where they're not respecting the bumper in the middle, which is why Booch was open that one time yesterday, because nobody's respecting it. And they move the puck around slowly around the outside. It's without a purpose. And I put this in my notes here just to... Yeah, there are too many useless passes with no end game. You know what? I'm going to be done talking about this. Let's hear what Jim Montgomery had to say about it. He's the head coach. He was a power play guy throughout his entire career. Here's what Monty had to say.
We're not converging at the net. That's what I'm seeing. Our eyes aren't on the goaltender. Our eyes are on the next pass. So if you're converging at the net, good things are going to happen because you can outnumber people at the net usually. And right now we're getting the puck and we're coming away from the net. So we just need a little more convergence at the net, a little more desperation and urgency.
Imagine that. Passing with a purpose. Brett Hull said it a long time ago. Now, Brett Hull is obviously one of the greatest players in the game. But he said something that will always ring true to me for the rest of my entire hockey life. When you pass the puck to a teammate, power play or not, you have to be passing the puck to an area that helps your team, helps your teammate, set him up for success. So just passing to get him the puck isn't good enough. It's passing where he needs the puck. So for a Holloway, you see him, he's wound up, he's half ready to go over there. You have to pass that puck in his wheelhouse, which is right between the wickets, in between the shoulders, so he can turn the hips and blast that thing like you see Ovechkin and Crosby and all those guys do. Mm-hmm. Passing it anywhere else is a disservice to your teammate and the team. Just like anything else, just like skating out on a breakout pass. You've got Jordan Kyrou skating 100 miles an hour down the wing, but you pass it in his skates. Does that help him?
No.
Does it help the team?
No.
That's why passing, execution, the details that Monty talks about all the time, that's it right there. Those are the details that matter. So, and converging to the net, he's 100% right. At no point does it ever feel like the Blues are a threat to take it to the paint. And when they do, it's one stride towards the paint, and then they try to feather a little pass through. How about you take 2 hard strides to the net and you jam that sucker on net and have 3 guys stabbing at the puck? You ever watch Brady Tkachuk play?
Yeah.
Matthew Tkachuk, Sasha Barkov, those guys? All the guys that have the power play success, at some point, you take it to the net like a savage. Do you know why? Because the next time you take a step towards the net, that defenseman and they've got to collapse to the blue paint because, oh my God, here they come. And that's when you're able to go back up high to the defenseman who's foaming at the mouth, shooting a one-timer down Broadway. Boom! Now you pay for it. And now all their guys are in the crease too, so the goalie can't even move.
Kind of like the Mammoth did last night to the Blues.
Kind of like the Mammoth did, especially on the Cooley goal.
Right.
And even on the Schmaltz goal that went off his stick and broke his stick.
Yeah.
The 3 guys in that area. You have to play with purpose.
Who does that fall on in terms of power play construction? Is that the players?
Because I've watched Steve Ott. I've watched him. I've watched him coach these guys. Their setup, all of this stuff. I've heard his philosophy. But this isn't Nintendo. You don't get the controller.
Right. I call it bubble hockey.
Well, no, I call it video game hockey because the coaches don't have the remote to move the players where they want them to go. They can tell them, but then once the game goes on, now you get the controller, it's got no batteries. So you've got to let the game do what it's going to do at that point. And the players are not executing. They're not retaining that. You have, and this is another thing I learned from some of the best players. Steve Yzerman, there has to be an action in order to create a reaction. And when there's no action, meaning passing the puck around the outside, there's really no reason to react.
Right.
You stay in your nice little diamond, you rotate, good sticks, quick feet, good sticks. Oh, bad pass, converge, ice the puck. But if it's 1 pass, 2 pass, and you know what's going on, said this before, struggling power plays, 2 to 3 passes at the most, and then everybody on the ice for your team knows the puck's going to the net. Now it forces the opposition to either front that puck. If they miss the puck, now it's a 4-on-3 down low. Rebounds, little passes, all the little things that happen around the net. That's when the power play is successful. But when you're passing it around, I don't care. Go ahead. We used to laugh at teams like, go ahead, passer. You guys are great passers.
Right.
Didn't have to block 1 shot tonight.
Yeah. Like you said, Jamie, you're doing the opposition a favor. Thank you.
You're not even tiring them out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they get that fixed.
Hang on. One more pet peeve.
Sure.
I can't stand when players try to make the home run pass 7 seconds into the power play. Like you go from high to low, and you have a nice little crease pass maybe, but everybody's fresh. So that split second you think you have that little pass, you don't, because the net front guy converges down stick on puck, you get and ice the puck. The key to it all is 2 things. 1, you can tire out your opponent, or 2, get the puck up a little higher, and when you move it up higher and you're moving it consistently, believe it or not, players go into a trance, the defensive team. So what happens is then your top of your diamond guy, he starts getting sucked out automatically because the puck keeps going high. Then the next guy is like, oh, duh. Like remember that goal by Robert Thomas? Where were we? Calgary. The second period. Jimmy Snuggerud and Fowler were kind of playing catch, and the 2 Flames guys got mesmerized, following the puck up high. Down low to Robert Thomas. Hard step off the goal line, top shelf, far side on the glove. Why was he able to do that? Because the guy that was supposed to be on him got mesmerized by the puck because they were moving it up high. And when you don't do that, I have no reason to move.
Yeah, the Blues feel a little too stagnant. Like I'll watch other teams play, and their power play, it seems like, guys are just moving around. Maybe a defenseman who's at the top of the key winds up down by the goal line, but by the time that the puck is moving around, he's back up to the blue line once again. It just feels stagnant, too stagnant. And you talk about that trance. There's so much going on within the offensive zone that then you actually have to make players try and chase you. It just feels like the Blues are... that's why I say bubble hockey, because bubble hockey players, they never move, right? They just
they stay up and down the ice.
Yeah, they just stay in the same spot. Essentially, it's frustrating. It's been like this for a while. The passing's been like this for a while, and this is predating Jim Montgomery too.
Well, and what I wish would happen too is there's nothing wrong with changing puck side. So when you're stagnant in one side of the ice because a team's got you defended properly, What's wrong with sending it down to Cairo or Thomas on the goal line, skate down behind the net, change side? Because what that does now is every player on the ice has to move to that side of the ice. And that's where you can create a seam pass to somebody. Like, take it behind the net, have Booch from the half wall drive to the middle of the ice. Or Holloway, drive to the middle of the ice. Now, somebody's got to go with them. If they don't, that's an easy play at the net for you. If they do, Kyrie just carry it all the way up to the half wall, zip it up top to Fowler. Now you got Holloway in front of the net, get a shot on net. Anyways, that's my pet peeve. That's my frustration. And I feel like that cost the Blues last night because there were pivotal times where in the second period, down by a goal or two at one point, power play could help them. And definitely in the third period, down by one goal, they got a power play and got nothing out of it.
It's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We will have Jeremy Rutherford on at the bottom of the hour, so JR will join us at 3:30. Let's get into this Illinois-Washington matchup. Let's get the breakdown going on with our guy CD, who is in Washington. He'll have the game coverage tomorrow. Will be part of the play-by-play broadcast. So Illinois-Washington. Illinois season's on the line, period. They can't drop another one. Can they get it done against the Huskies? That's next on 101 ESPN. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter. We're in studio. Our guy, Carey Davis, is boots on the ground in Seattle, where his Fighting Illini will take on Washington tomorrow afternoon, 2:30 kickoff local time. Carey, if we're going to break down this matchup, why don't we start here? What's the biggest question that you have about your Illinois Fighting Illini heading into tomorrow afternoon's game?
Well, coming off a bye week, my biggest concern always is health, making sure everyone got back healthy and ready to roll, which it seems that everyone is good to go, that is healthy. Xavier Scott is still going to be out for an extended period of time, the best corner that we have. But offensively, I think, they've done a fantastic job. You had a tough loss against Ohio State before the bye week. But just regrouping mentally, getting that week off to kind of reset and restart, and then flying out to Washington a couple of days early to get ready for this game is going to be a big challenge. You mentioned it before we went to break. Like, it is a make or break game. I think pretty much any team right now that is a one-loss, two-loss team, you're in a position where you can't lose again. And so Illinois is in that position. It's their own doing. We didn't perform well enough at Indiana, didn't perform well enough against Ohio State, but you got a great opportunity tomorrow to take on a really good Washington Husky team that is going to be ready to roll.
And Washington's dealing with some injuries, especially along the O-line. I would think that would have a big impact on whether or not Washington can move the football. However, as you've mentioned, Illinois, their secondary has been banged up. Does that come into play here, though? Because it certainly did against Indiana. But I don't know if Washington can move the ball through the air quite like, certainly not like Indiana. But do you think that Washington can take advantage of some of the secondary pieces that you still have down?
Well, most of the secondary for Illinois is back healthy. James Clark played against Ohio State. Xavier Scott is the only one that the main name that is going to be out. And he, like I said, he's going to be out extended period of time. But Illinois can't relax. I know the O-line is banged up. I think the center is banged up a little bit, but Damon Williams, the quarterback, is an outstanding football player. He's a great passer. I think he's fourth in the Big Ten in passing yards, and he's 15th in rushing yards. He's a guy that can get out of the pocket, make big plays with his legs, and extend plays to be able to get downfield and throw the ball. He has 1,800 yards passing right now. He's done a great job. Jonah Coleman, who is their leading rusher, is the leading rusher in touchdowns in the Big Ten as well. So they got some guys that they can get the ball to and get the ball in their hands and make explosive plays. But Damon Williams Jr. is the one that is the quarterback, and he's the one that you have to keep an eye on. You prefer to keep him in the pocket because, again, if he's able to get outside of the pocket and do damage with his legs downfield, that's a nightmare for any coordinator trying to figure out how to manage a dual threat quarterback. So he's one of those guys. And then defensively, they got a couple of 6'4" corners, long athletic guys out there. And then their defensive coordinator is Ryan Walters, former Purdue head coach, but also former Illinois defensive coordinator from a few years ago. So he knows this offense. He works with Barry Lunny, our offensive coordinator, on that same staff. He was under Brett Bielema. He has a really good knowledge of this offense and how the defense runs for Illinois. So, you put all those things on the table, you have a chance here, but you have a challenge as well.
Carey, I'm listening to a lot of the national people this week talk about this game, and the one thing that gets brought up more often than not is that it's hard to play in Washington, that they play really good at home. What is it about that stadium or that team at home that has so many people talking about it?
I was listening to one of their reporters talk about the stadium and how it's constructed and how it has like an overhang and the sound just kind of reverberates. It's only 70,000, which is, Big Ten, we get 100 plus at Michigan, 100 plus at Penn State. But when you got 70,000 and it's kind of that sound is just kind of hovering over you, it can make it difficult for opposing offenses. And it gets to the point where, you do have a 12th man assisting you with that loud crowd because now you can't hear the play call. If the play call is called in late, if you need to audible, if you're trying to do some things offensively that kind of are limited because of the sound, it can become an issue. And you're flying all the way out to the West Coast. It was a 4-hour flight. Not that matters in these days. We're not flying commercial like you were, Jamie, when you first started your career. No
Thank you.
Not saying that you're old or anything.
Oh, that's okay.
But we're flying. It's the entire team, but it is a flight, and you came out here a couple of days early just to make sure that you're acclimated to the time change. So all of those things part of probably why teams struggle when they come out here. It is loud. It is a time change. But at the end of the day, you got to play football. You know, it's going to be the same length of the field. It's going to be the same width of the field. The points count for the same. You're going to have the same number of people on the field. So all those excuses are non-excuses, in my opinion.
All right, Carey, this is an elimination game for the Fighting Illini. I mean, they can't lose 3. You predicting an upset?
I mean, is it an upset? I guess based on what you all say, the points and all of those things, I guess it would be an upset. But for me, I do think that Illinois has all of the things in front of them that they need to have. I think we have the offensive line has performed a lot better. Luke Altmaier is an outstanding quarterback. I was just in the weight room earlier today, and he was one of the few players down in there in the fitness center at the hotel getting some extra work in with one of the strength and conditioning coaches. Like, his mindset as a young athlete is top tier. He's one of the leaders of this team. He's one of the leaders of this offense. And it just shows in how he goes about his business. He's only got 1 turnover this year, and that was last week, 2 weeks ago against Ohio State. So, you know, I think that with him and the way that they've been protecting him up front, as long as they continue to do that, running backs do their job. I think offensively, him and Hank Beatty will have a big day. And then defensively, you got to get stops. Again, DeMond Williams Jr. is a hell of a quarterback. If you keep him in the pocket and force him to have force him to throw the ball downfield, I think you have a huge chance. He's got 4 interceptions on the year, and 3 of them came last week against Michigan. So he's going to be looking to rebound from his performance last week. But I think, again, if you keep him in the pocket, put pressure on him, I think you have a good day.
All right, Carey, good stuff.
And yes, I am taking Illinois for the dub.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I hardly would have guessed that.
I didn't want to leave that part out.
There you have it. That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. We got Jeremy Rutherford. We'll get his viewpoint on the Blues' loss to the Mammoth and some of the surrounding storylines for our Blues next on 101 ESPN.
Looking to upgrade your vehicle? Head over to Pure Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications, and it's not just the exterior of your car either. They have anything you need for your muscle car, your performance parts, all those things available at Pure Performance. And all you have to do is stop by their unbelievable location. It's 25,000 square feet, and it is the largest showroom in the area, located right off of Cave Springs Boulevard. Just take a little right there. You can't miss it, down on your left-hand side. Do me a favor, though. When you get there, please ask for Shelby or Paul. They're going to take great care of you. Whatever your budget is, whatever you're looking to do, they're going to maximize all of that for you. And honestly, you have to get by the showroom. Every time I stop by, there's something new that I like to look at, and there's so many amazing things available for all kinds of vehicles, whether it's a Jeep, a Bronco, pickup truck, SUV, even a minivan. They've got you covered there. And let's not forget that it's a full-service garage, so if you're in there getting maybe, some running boards on your pickup truck, you can also get your brakes looked at. You can get an oil change, all of that stuff right there at Pure Performance. So please stop by, again, in person. But if not, please get there online. They got an awesome website. It's pureperformance.com. Anthony, that's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues fall to the Utah Mammoth last night by a final score of 7-4. They'll take on the Detroit Red Wings tomorrow, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. Coming up next, we'll be joined by our Blues insider with The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford. We'll break down last night's game and talk a little Blues hockey next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
For the Rutherford Report with our Blues insider, Jeremy Rutherford, on 101 ESPN.
JR is brought to you by Evergreen Wealth Strategies, helping everyday people every day. Visit evergreen-ws.com.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Callier and Thompson phone line where we're joined by our guy Jeremy Rutherford, who wrote, "What is wrong with the Blues at home this season?" Good question.
Why do you ask that?
JR, I'm assuming based on the title of that article that you don't know what's going on with the Blues, but if you were to share some insight on your observations thus far, great team last year at home, but this year they're off to a rough start. Why?
Yeah, it really is. And you guys were talking about that winning streak last year. It was 12 regular season games, and it was 3 in the playoffs, all 3 wins over Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg Jets at Enterprise Center. But I dug a little deeper, and I looked at the goals for and goals against in those 15 straight wins at home. I mean, they didn't just beat teams at home. They destroyed them. The Blues with a 74-27 goals for, goals against advantage in those 15 games. So this team really knew how to play last year on home ice, and that has not carried over this year whatsoever. In these 5 games, outscored 23-11. So, I asked a couple guys, including Coach Jim Montgomery, can you put your finger on anything as to why things have gone the way they have at home? And he said, no, I can't. And then we asked the same question of Pavel Buchnevich, and he said, good question. I don't know the answer. So obviously we can talk about the slow starts. We'll break that down, the power play, all that stuff. But I think it's a combination of all these things we've been talking about for all 5 home games that have led to this.
Yeah, JR, when you're watching this Blues team, I don't know about you. I'm watching a team that I hate to say that they're not playing with urgency, because I know these guys and I know that they're trying to win hockey games, but whether it's not playing with urgency or just a lack of attention to detail, there's just something missing right now, isn't there?
There really is. And one thing I was thinking about last night, and Riv, this is, in St. Louis, we're talking about slow starts with the St. Louis Blues. Well, guess what the scouting report on the other side says? It says that the Blues are getting out to slow starts. So, what's the Utah coach saying to his guys going into last night's game? Hey, let's jump them early. They haven't been ready, this season, especially at home, early in the game. And look what happened. That was a bad start. That was a slow start. I'm not going to take that game last night out of that category. But I don't even know that the Blues had a chance to start. I don't even think they knew what hit them. A couple, a shift or so. Yeah, Jim Montgomery said after the game. But right after that, it was just a blitz by Utah. They were moving the puck just wherever they wanted to. So I agree with you. You hate to look at it and say there's no urgency, because you know that they have urgency. But I think that the lack of attention to detail and doing the things that put your teammates in a good spot and just coming together and playing like a group leads to what we see with the other team being able to capitalize, get out to a 2-3 last night, 4-0 lead, and then the Blues are in the same position every night.
JR, the Blues have had games where they've given up 5 goals, 8 goals, 7 goals. Jamie was on earlier talking about breaking down the power play and how they're struggling there. What area do they need to fix first? Because you obviously can't fix everything at one time, but what can you fix first to kind of get going in the right direction?
Well, it's for sure going to be being ready to play when the game starts. I know that's super cliche, but that's just where it has to start. Like these guys, with what Jim Montgomery has said the past couple of games, and then last night he took it easy on him a little bit and said, hey, I like the fight back. Well, yeah, you like the fight back, but you shouldn't have been in that position to have to do that, especially with what's going on here early in the season. But that's going to be first and foremost. Like they just have to get down to business and have to have the will to want to do the right things that are going to put them in position to score goals and play with a lead. Like Pavel Buchnevich said it last night. I think they've not scored the first goal, so they've given up the first goal in 5 of the 7 games. So they're chasing games, and like I said a minute ago, not just 2-0, but multi goals. And I think that's going to be first and foremost. But when you get into a situation like last night, when it's a 5-4 game, and you get 2-3 power plays, you have to convert on one of them. You have to. And not only are we not seeing the Blues convert on the power play, we're seeing 2 shots on goal combined in those 3 power plays. And one of them, you might recall, Riv, was Robert Thomas kind of dancing to the goal mouth and putting it in the goalie's chest. So, that's not necessarily what the Blues are looking for in terms of shots on goal. What I saw last night, look, I've seen some bad power plays over the years. I'm not going to say that last night was the worst, but last night, when you sat in that press box and you looked down on the ice, sure, it's a lot easier watching from up there, but I could literally draw a line and tell you where each pass was going. I could tell you where the next pass was going. Okay. I mean, it was beyond telegraphing passes. And so it was a little bit refreshing when Jim Montgomery said that after the game, is like, we're not even looking to the net. We're just looking for that next pass. If they flip the zone around and put the goal at the blue line, I think the Blues will be in good shape because that's where all the pucks are.
Wow. Jeremy Rutherford with a mic drop there. He's our Blues insider with The Athletic. At JP Rutherford is where you can follow him on X. JR, Joel Hofer has struggled since that strong performance in Calgary. He's allowed 10 goals on 28 shots in his last two starts, pulled after giving up the 3 goals on 6 shots last night versus Utah. I get it. They're going to need both goaltenders, but do you think that Jordan Binnington they need to lean on him a little bit more here until Hofer regains his confidence?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to. And they have games Saturday and Monday, Detroit and Pittsburgh. And maybe you go to Binnington in both of these. I realize that's not what they want to do, especially earlier in the season. They want to keep Binnington fresh. Jim Montgomery's on record as saying that they want the splits to be a little bit closer to even. It's not going to be 50-50, but closer than it's been the past couple of years where it's been like 55-56 and 27-28 between the two of them. But you can't keep trotting Hofer out there until they feel comfortable with him in practice. Davey Alexander, the outstanding goalie coach, when he feels comfortable with where Joel Hofer's at with his game, then you can run him back out there. But it's the NHL. You play every other night. You really don't have a chance to catch your breath. And Binnington has played well, and he's done this before. So I really do think they are going to have to lean on him, Anthony.
JR, getting back to the power play real quick. I look at the 2 units that are being rolled out last night, and I feel like they're polar opposite as far as the way they've been constructed. Do you think that Jim Montgomery and the Blues coaching staff might want to split that up a bit? Because I see 5 very similar players on the first unit, all very perimeter players. They love to handle the puck and pass the puck, but not necessarily that gritty net front presence. And then I look at the second unit, and I feel like you've got that in abundance with those guys. Do you think it's a matter of where finally they split that up and maybe Jake Neighbors finds his way back to the front of the net on the first power play unit, Jordan Kyrou goes back to playing with Braden Shen, and maybe they kind of shuffle the deck a little bit?
Yeah, and they've tinkered with the units a little bit, but I agree with you that the personnel on that first unit looks pretty similar. And in fact, when they went to the late power play, late in the game yesterday with a chance to pull even, they went with that second unit to start out. So things haven't gone well with that first unit. Riv, I don't pretend to know X's and O's to the extreme, that you do with the power play. But, there just hasn't been a net front presence. And I know the Blues are kind of putting an emphasis on having Robert Thomas down low. And I think what I've seen is there's a lot of zip passes that are kind of backdoor to whether it be Thomas or Buchnevich or whomever. So they're not in the front of the net trying to create a lot of traffic and get that ugly goal, but they're looking for that quick pass through the slot to the guy back door, and he's got to put it in, and they just haven't put those in. Like, there's been 2 or 3 opportunities where they're trying to get that puck through, and sometimes they force it too much and it doesn't even get through. But there's been some times where, that pass has been made, and whether it's a stick not down on the ice or the stick's not strong enough to convert it, they just haven't made it. So, they're going to have to try everything, but they've done some tinkering with those 2 units, but I think they're going to have to get back to just Neighbors, Sundquist, somebody playing in front of that net.
Yeah, so JR, what you're talking about, I call those home run passes, because they're either a home run or they're a miss, right? And in order for those to work, you have to establish a shot from up high from the defenseman, so that pulls coverage away from the net, because the defenseman then has to respect the bumper and pick up sticks and move him out of the way. Or you got to use the bumper more. I said earlier, like, this is a spot where they miss a player like Zach Bolduc, who is a threat from that area. I wouldn't mind seeing Holloway move into that bumper spot just because he's got that great shot. Now you got to respect that. So then when the puck does go down low at the 3rd or 4th time and Thomas looks for that home run pass, it's available because you have to respect things that are up higher. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I heard you mention Bolduc. I could hear the hornet's nest kind of buzzing in my head when you mentioned Bolduc earlier. No, and I agree. And, who is that guy? It was Zach Bolduc. And, is it Buchnevich? It's probably not. Is it Holloway? Yeah, I think it could be. He seems to be able to get his shot off pretty good. But, no, you're right. There are too many, passes where, they'd be highlight passes and highlight real goals if they got converted. But, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of them are coming early in the power play, and then the puck's down the ice, and they're changing on the PK. And, I just think that if those passes aren't getting through and the PK doesn't have to respect them, then they're in the diamond and they're sagging and protecting the house, and now it's even tougher to get that pass through. So, I don't know. I mean, if you got the Boston Bruins power play and you're zipping around with Pasternak and Bergeron and those guys and Krug's out at the point, maybe you're converting some of these goals, but I don't know that the Blues can do that, and we haven't seen it.
JR, last question for me. I when I'm watching, sometimes it just feels like the Blues are moving slow. I know they're not slow or heavy-footed, but it feels like they're moving slow. Is that just a product of overthinking or just not playing the game fast enough? What is that issue that I'm seeing, or am I mistaken?
No, you're seeing it. You're seeing it right. I hate to always chalk it up to a combination of things, but I don't think you can. This is always the toughest question to answer. When teams aren't playing well because they're not playing well together, it's like, okay, what is it? Is it the system? Is it the confidence? Is it they're chasing the score? Is it, this guy's looking to get off the schneid because he doesn't have a goal yet, so he's trying to do everything. I think that just all comes into to play there. And I think when you have those situations and you have, the way the Blues are playing right now, it does come down to thinking too much, and eventually you just have to get out there and skate. And listen to me, I say you just have to. I've never done it a day in my life, but watching the teams over the years, you just have to get out there and play. And I think the Blues are, whether they're thinking too much or whether they're not putting their teammates in a good position, it just looks like slow hockey to me. I think you're absolutely right. And, that's not something that takes a month to fix and change. I think it just comes down to some guys and the team getting confidence in each other and looking at each other and saying, hey, we just got to go out and play. And it can change quickly. I've seen it, but you got to put the mind to it, and you got to put the work into it.
JR, great stuff as always. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next Friday. Have a great weekend.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis live from Seattle, and Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. We'll have Bet the Board next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to sell your home, now is not the time to just pick up the phone and call any ordinary agent, someone who's going to maybe guess at the price of your home. Maybe they sell 4 or 5 houses a year. No! Call Gloria Lou. She knows exactly what's going on. Been in the business for over 20 years here in the St. Louis area. That's what matters most, is she knows the market here in St. Louis. So if you're thinking about selling your home and you're going to want to sell it for top dollar and quickly, Gloria Lou should be your first phone call. Gloria Lou has 24,000 buyers in waiting. How does that help you? Well, as soon as you price your home, there's a portion of those people that are direct customers of yours right away. Eyeballs on your home immediately. Maybe it's multiple offers. Maybe you get over list price. I'm not sure. But I do know that if you call Gloria Lou, she's going to list your home, access to her buyers in waiting, and then get you to the closing table. So please pick up the phone. Give her a call. Her number's 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Again, that's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Time for Bet the Board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter.
Get my bet here.
Marsh, I hate to ask every day now in October. It's been rough.
Anthony, can we, before we get to the standings here, there was something that I said yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping, for my sake, for Gators' sake, for everybody that has this player on their fantasy team, their fantasy football team, and played said player last night, I said, please do not pick this guy for Bet the Board, you have not been doing well this week. Quentin Johnston may have just didn't even step onto the field last night because he did not log a single catch. In fact, he had 0 points in fantasy
football. It's on the quarterback. Didn't see him wide open.
Anthony, I couldn't help but think about that last night.
I don't even think
you had, Anthony?
Yeah, I had Quentin Johnston over, 50 yards receiving. I don't even think he had a target.
He didn't have a catch. He might have had a target. He didn't have a catch.
I don't think he had a target. I don't think he had a target.
He was wide open up the middle, and Justin Herbert decided to run the ball because he could all night.
Yeah, I blame one person for that, and I blame Andrew Marsh.
What?
I had a friend try to trade me Quentin Johnston for Sam Laporte.
That's not a friend.
No.
A couple of weeks ago. That's what I told him. He's like, he's a top 4 receiver. I said, in what world, sir?
Yeah, really.
Nothing.
Top 4 on that team? Sure.
That's exactly. Maybe. Last night, for sure.
Yeah, no, that was terrible, and I blame Marsh because instead of being a good teammate, a supportive teammate, Marsh decided to call out that I've been struggling in October and highlight that. So that's on him.
Anthony, I was focusing on my fantasy football team. And
exactly.
I have no problem saying that. Like, there's a lot on the line for this league.
Well, again, you were focused on anything but supporting a teammate.
But Anthony, I'm trying to support you by helping you get
This is
more
how I do
points.
this, right, Jim?
Yeah, well, you're doing it great.
Get more points,
Yep,
right? So it's like a symbiotic relationship where I benefit and you benefit.
Symbiotic. That's a good word.
What's the damn standings, Marsh?
Anthony, you're in last place.
Thank you.
Man, why'd he go there?
Well, he's trying to hurt me.
No, he asked for the stand. Do you want me? Okay.
You didn't have to start with me, and you didn't have to
usually
say
go the other
you're in
way.
last place. You always start with the top. You always
Okay.
have.
All right, fine.
That was a little purposeful.
We'll refresh it.
Yeah, refresh
We'll
it.
refresh. Okay. Carey and I are in the lead with 12 points. Jamie's right behind us with 11. Anthony, you're in last place with 8.
That was much better.
Little stank on that. All right. Hey, Marsh,
me?
congratulations. You're having a good month, man. You're having a real good month.
You're going to win for sure.
Nope. Not even going to say. You're having it. Marsh.
Wow.
You are having a real solid month, my friend. You're doing great, man.
You know what? Remember, okay.
Carey, I think you're going to win for sure. I love your odds, buddy.
Do you remember
I appreciate it.
a couple segments ago, you asked me, I think it was Jamie, the hat trick of all bad things that happened last night.
Yeah.
We had the Vikings lose,
Yeah,
the
but
Blues
you had two
lose.
things wash it out.
The third one, I just remembered, with 2 players on Thursday Night Football, Jordan Mason as well, 1.9 points for 2 people playing against Jordan Addison. He had 11. I'm not even going to look at my app this week. It's over. Okay, Carey, who you picking?
Give me Jamar Chase over 7.5 receptions, minus 120.
I'm looking at Tyler Warren of the Indianapolis Colts to have 60-plus receiving yards at minus 111.
Give me a first period over.
What?
1.5 is the total. Maple Leafs Sabres tonight. Give me the over, minus 135.
And I will take the Dolphins Falcons over 45 points. Please and thank you.
Oh, you're expecting a lot from the Dolphins.
Yeah, they're indoors. 2 will be fine.
Hey, it's not tall enough to see over the line of scrimmage. Just
It'll
asking.
be fine. Falcons got short players. All right, Marsh, do we have a Gauntlet contestant? We ready to rock?
We need a new one.
Oh, okay.
We need a new one.
314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you want to play in the Gauntlet, text in now. We'll play the Gauntlet next in the Fast Lane. Anthony Stalter for Mosby Building Arts. They are the right remodeling company. Let me first tell you about the wrong remodeling company. If you've owned a house for a long time, you've done a couple of remodels, whether it's a big project or a small project, I'm sure you've run into this. We certainly did in the Stalter household. We had new hardwood floors put in when we first moved into the home. This is going back, 10, 15 years now. But we had the hardware company, this hardwood floor company come in, lay the hardwood floors throughout the course of the bottom, the first floor, and then we started, after they're done, we started to notice certain areas were not done right. I mean, the hardwood wouldn't even go all the way up to the molding there at the bottom of the floor. It was terrible. So we had the company back out. It took forever for them to come back out. And we had actually the owner of the company come out and look around and say, yeah, this isn't right. This isn't right. Even one of the door jambs was, nicked up. They must have banged into it. And, there's a chunk of the floor, so chunk of the door, like frame cut out. We're like, you got to fix this. Oh yeah, we will. They never came back out. Multiple calls to them. They never came back out. They left us high and dry, and it's a feeling that certainly I'll never forget as a homeowner, and I'm sure you've run into this before. That's why I urge you to call Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company, whether it's a bathroom, and by the way, bathrooms start at just $279 a month. They got a great sale going on, $599 a month for basements, $69 a month for a brand new front door, or $59 a month for gutters. Those are the great deals, but you deal with a company like Mosby because you want things done right. You want them to be efficient. You want everybody to be all in-house like they have at Mosby. It's not like they're hiring different contractors to come out to delay your project. They do it right the first time, and they're constantly in communication with you. They are worth the price. Trust me on this. Mosby Building Arts. Visit callmosby.com today. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
404, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Conrad. What's up, Conrad?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're doing great, man. Appreciate you joining us. Happy Friday to you. Would you like to take on CD, Andrew Marsh, Jamie, or me in round one?
Let's go CD.
Carey Davis.
There it is. Now I finally heard it.
Good luck.
Thank you. You too.
All right, so Carey's going to go into his own makeshift cone of silence. He's in his
Bathroom.
hotel. Yeah, we'll
That's always
text
fun
him.
when I'm on the road and I get into the cone of silence. I call it the throne of silence.
I like it. I see what you did there, Jamie. I like it. All right, go ahead, Conrad. Tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
Hey, spin that wheel.
What are you hoping for?
Whatever the wheel wants, we get.
Oh, he thought about that.
That's
He
smart.
thought about it.
Yep, real smart.
Well, woo. Yeah.
All right, so now that the wheel is done spinning,
Yeah.
Conrad, what did you want?
Anything but football, probably, against him.
Okay, well, it looks like you got anything but football.
Literally anything but football.
You did literally get anything. You got random.
Yeah.
You good with that?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Well, you got to remember, too, it's random for both players.
Yeah.
So it's not really an advantage.
All right.
Exactly.
So, Conrad, you're going to receive 4 questions today. All of them are random. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. From whom does Flash Gordon most commonly save the universe? Here's your hint. His villain sets up shop on planet Mongo.
Oh, yeah. Options, please.
All right. Dr. Doom, Ming the Merciless, or Prince Voltan?
Let's do the last one, Prince Voltan.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Conrad, question 2. Can you tell us the name of the real Jordan Belfort's Long Island, New York brokerage house, which was popularized in The Wolf of Wall Street? The Wolf of Wall Street.
Ooh. Yeah, let's go with options again.
Is it Stratton Oakmont, Franklin Bosch, or Caldwell Lynch?
Those all sound the same. One more time.
Stratton Oakmont, Franklin Bosch, or Caldwell Lynch?
Let's do the second one. Final answer.
All right.
That is Franklin Bosch.
Yes.
B, not C, Anthony.
Yeah, B.
B, not C.
All right, question number 3. What is the state insect of Missouri?
Options.
Options are the giant walking stick, the monarch butterfly, or the honeybee.
Let's go with the honeybee.
Final answer?
Final answer. Yep.
All right, last question, Conrad. In 1989, this country's name was changed only in English. Hint, you will find it on the continent of Asia.
What year was that in?
1989. So in 1989, this country's name was changed, but only in English. And your hint was you will find it on the continent of Asia.
Let's do the options. Why not? 4 for 4.
Okay. Burma, Laos, or Cambodia?
Laos. Final answer.
All right.
Savage with these questions.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, let's
Those were rough.
Let's text Carey. Come back.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so hopefully Carey gets that text quickly. And he'll,
Yeah, he got his
come
flip
back.
phone with him. He'll be fine.
yeah, Conrad, how you feeling?
Yeah, guessed on all 4, so we'll see.
Okay, all right.
All right, well, let's hold off chatter here till we find out our guy CD.
Let's see if Carey
Hello.
is back.
Oh, there he is. Hey.
Carey, what's going on?
I'm good. How's it going?
Good.
How was the throne of silence, Carey?
It was silent.
Yeah.
Chilling. It's rainy outside. Rain is coming down sideways.
Shocker. Seattle's my
Northwest,
least favorite place on the road, by the way. I just have to be clear. I used to be Buffalo. I can tolerate Buffalo now.
Get some wings.
Just whatever. You got Tim Hortons, at least.
Oh, nice.
Seattle,
No.
no spank you.
Okay.
The Emerald City. Ain't that
Yeah,
what
it's
it's called?
something all right, Carey.
All right, Conrad, or I'm sorry, Carey.
Yeah.
Conrad.
We've only been working together for a few years.
No, I know your name. Conrad spun the wheel. It came up random.
Oh my God!
You're welcome.
I was sitting over there. I'm like, man, it's taking a while.
Taking a while.
All right. Pack a lunch. You ready?
Okay.
From whom does Flash Gordon most commonly save the universe? Hint. This villain sets up shop on the planet Mongo.
Oh man, I have no clue. Options.
Dr. Doom, Ming the Merciless, or Prince Voltan.
Let's go. Dr. Doom was the first thing that popped into my mind after I heard the options. Dr. Doom, final answer.
All right, Carey, question 2. Can you tell us question 2. Can you tell us the name of the real Jordan Belfort's Long Island, New York brokerage house, which was popularized in The Wolf of Wall Street?
Eddie's brother? No, options.
Stratton Oakmont, Franklin Bosch, or Caldwell Lynch?
Stratton Oakmont, final answer.
Question number 3. What is the state insect of Missouri?
What the hell? Who wrote these questions?
You know.
You know who.
The state insect? Options.
Is it the giant walking stick, the monarch butterfly, or the honeybee?
Monarch butterfly. You told me that by the way. Insect? Can you read them again, please?
The giant walking stick, the monarch butterfly, or the honeybee?
Is a butterfly a insect? Man. This is terrible. Goodness. Butterfly, final answer.
All right, final question, CD. In 1989, this country's name was changed only in English. Your hint, you will find it on the continent of Asia.
Can you repeat that, sir?
Right near India.
In 1989, this country's name was changed only in English. Hint, you will find it on the continent of Asia.
Options.
Your options are Burma, Laos, or Cambodia.
One more time. I'm sorry. I ordered room service and they came in right now.
That's all right.
You can phone a friend, Carey. You can phone a friend. Is he right there? Ask him.
No. Thank you.
Ask him the damn question.
Your options are Burma, Laos, or Cambodia.
Laos, final answer.
All right.
I think Carey and I should have that, by the way. If room service arrives while we're doing the gauntlet, we can phone a friend. We can use them. The odds of them actually being in the room at the same time are slim and none.
It's very slim.
It depends on when you order it.
Yeah, very true. You can time it up.
I tried to time it up. It just happened this way.
All right, let's go over these. Conrad
Pay that
versus
incidental before you leave, Carey.
CD. In 1989, this country's name was changed only in English. Hint, you will find it on the continent of Asia. You both said Laos. Correct answer is...
Well, Laos was an option, as we know. Burma, formerly known as Myanmar.
Burma was correct answer. So we get a 0-0 tie. From whom does Flash Gordon most commonly save the universe? Hint, this villain sets up shop on the planet Mongo. Conrad said Prince Voltan. Carey said Dr. Doom. Jamie, the answer is...
Ming the Merciless.
Ming the Merciless.
I actually knew this one because my mom one time bought me a bunch of Flash Gordon books at a garage sale. We didn't have TVs. Like, we had one TV, so we go to bed, you had nothing. So I started to read Flash Gordon books, and I would have known this one.
I saw you chomping at the bit, which is why I went back to the well there with you. All right, so we're still all tied up 0-0. Can you tell us the name of the real Jordan Belfort's Long Island, New York brokerage house, which was popularized in The Wolf of Wall Street? Conrad said Franklin Bosch, or Bosch. Carey said Stratton Oakmont. Correct answer is...
It's Stratton Oakmont.
Stratton Oakmont. Carey's on the board. Carey with a 1-0 lead. Will it hold?
Ooh.
What is the state insect of Missouri? Carey went with the monarch butterfly. Conrad went with the honeybee. If it's the honeybee, we got a walk-off. If it's the monarch butterfly or the giant walking stick, Carey's going to win today with the shutout. Conrad.
Walk it off.
It was the honeybee. Correct answer is the honeybee. We got a 1-1 tie. We're going to a walk-off. So
Now, we're going to give our guy Marshy a second here because the walk-off tiebreaker question is the same one we had yesterday.
Oh, I wasn't listening yesterday.
So Marshy is pulling up a tiebreaker question as we speak. It just has to be some form of closest to the pin. It could be anything. It could be, Marshy, how many home runs in the World Series ever? Something like that, you know? It's very random. Not sure if we...
Same number of games as Mario Lemieux.
Yarmer Yager.
okay, I already took my shot in this gauntlet. Okay. Jeez.
So Marshy's whittling away here. We will get a question here soon.
I would have gotten it if room service, you know.
I mean, I have...
Now, at what point did you think a butterfly was an insect, Carey? Just
I said it didn't sound right. I actually said that.
just asking you.
I have the question.
All right, here we
Okay,
go.
what do you got?
I
So
have
gotta
the
give the
question.
rules.
Oh,
You gotta give the
yeah.
rules.
Yep, good call, Jamie.
Because we almost had a slip-up yesterday.
We almost did. And there's one person in the snake pit that only pops in when he thinks we're cheating. And I'm pretty sure he stays up all night. Like he can't get
handle
past
it.
it. No, he
Yeah.
can't. So let's make sure we got this right. So Conrad, you there?
Yep.
All right, Conrad, you're going to hold off on your answer. Carey needs to write down his answer and then show us.
Sure.
And then we'll go to you, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so, and it will be closest to the pin. We will have a winner here. And this is all on Andrew Marsh.
Yeah, here we go, Marshy.
Go for it, Marshy.
I just pulled something up. This is a football-related question. I know it's random, but this is the first thing I could think of. All right. According to Pro Football Reference, in his 10-year career, how many interceptions has Carson Wentz thrown for? Or thrown? How many interceptions?
Okay,
All
10
right.
years, you say?
What's that?
10-year career.
10
In
years.
10-year career?
Yeah.
All right, so Carey is...
Carey is whittling
Okay,
away.
all right, I see it. All right, we got his.
I didn't see it.
I got it.
How did
Conrad,
you get it?
because I saw Marsh's monitor.
Oh, I was like, how
Which
did
is
we
in
get a
real
little delay over here?
Conrad, what's your answer?
How many years did he play for the Eagles and then had some other stuff? Let's go with, 38.
All right.
Okay.
No
All
calculator
right.
necessary.
Conrad.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
The question was, how many interceptions has Carson Wentz thrown in his 10-year career? We just heard Conrad say 38. Carey, you wrote down
88.
88. Marshy, correct answer is?
It is 72.
72 was the correct answer. Conrad, sorry. Carey got you today in the tiebreaker.
All good. Everybody knows the insect of Missouri is the honeybee, though. Thanks, guys.
Love it. Love it.
Have a great weekend, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy.
See ya. Carey, Conrad did say before you got on that he guessed at every single one of those. So
I don't blame him.
yeah,
Me
That was
too.
tough.
that was very tough.
Nice job, Carey.
Absolutely. Way to go, Carey. Way to go. So no man-made cone of silence, penalty box for Carey today. He's good to go.
Hey, that'd be a little bit weird. What, need to take it to the bathroom?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, yep.
I'd say you have to go sit in the hallway and look like a weirdo.
Yes.
It's actually be different. He would actually then have to leave, and then whoever brought the room service, they actually hop on.
Oh, my God.
That
That,
would-
actually, I would
that'd be
love that.
hilarious.
By the
That would've
way,
been
the waiter
hilarious.
jumps on for a segment.
Yes. That'd That'd be really funny.
That'd be awesome.
All right, let's do the NFL Week 8 entrance survey next on 101 ESPN. Underdog Fantasy, that's where you can play NFL all season long. In fact, you can play anything. You got Major League Baseball, they got college football, they got NHL, they got FIFA if you want to. And playing on Underdog, it's easy. First of all, you can do it right here in your state of Missouri. Just choose whether or not your favorite players, your least favorite players, if you don't like the matchup, will go higher or lower on their stats. Rushing yards, touchdowns, passing yards. They've even got fantasy numbers that I absolutely love. If you get your entries right, and you can play for as little as $1, by the way, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash, all for playing at Underdog. There's a couple of games I'm looking at. The Dolphins have been brutal this season, and Drake London had a quiet game against San Francisco on Sunday night. I think they pepper him throughout the course of the game on Sunday. Give me Drake London higher than 5.5 receptions in that Falcons-Dolphins game. There's a couple other games that I like. I've gone to this well, and I credit my guy Marshy for this because he's been on it. But Baker Mayfield has run a lot this season. Give me Baker Mayfield higher than 15.5 rushing yards. He likes to slip out the pocket a lot. And then I think Josh Allen has himself a bounce-back performance against a Carolina team that stops the run well, but can be had through the air. Give me 226.5 passing yards for Josh Allen. I'm going to go higher on his passing yards. So that's my plays for us for Sunday. You could go a different route if you want, or pick and choose. Either way, play at Underdog. Download the app today. Sign up with my promo code Anthony to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, use my promo code Anthony at Underdog, where you can make plays and win money. Must be 18 or older and present. Missouri term supply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.nsbgambling.org. Week 8 started last night with the Chargers' evisceration of the Minnesota Vikings. There is nothing left of those Vikings after last night. Chargers team that was blown out by the Colts. I mean, really just hammered on Sunday. Vikings couldn't move the ball, couldn't do anything against that Chargers team. Chargers start off Week 8 with a win.
We get it.
NFL Week 8 entrance survey. Sorry, Marsh, hurt people. What's the biggest or best storyline for Week 8? Carey Davis, what's your biggest or best storyline for Week 8?
Oh, man. I guess A.J. Brown is out. So I guess we'll try to figure out whether or not that has been an issue for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. He's going to be out this game. He's been ruled out. And whether or not they're able to pass the ball. They lost to the Giants earlier this year in a game that I think surprised a bunch of people. But what they actually look like at home without A.J. Brown, can they get Saquon Barkley rolling? And how does that passing game look without him in the lineup? So I think that's one of the biggest storylines of this week. This is not a great slate of games going into this week, but I think that you can find some interesting things in that game because that's been the biggest storyline all year. A.J. Brown not getting the ball, the passing game not being efficient, and Saquon Barkley not being able to run the ball. So what do the Eagles look like without A.J. Brown in the lineup for me?
Well, as Carey noted, not a great slate. And don't forget, you can tune in to 101 ESPN throughout the course of the day. We got Panthers, Bills, Colts, Titans, and Steelers, Packers. And that is where my best storyline is. It's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers in a revenge spot against the Packers. He says it's not a revenge.
The Packers in a revenge spot against Aaron Rodgers.
He says it's not a revenge game, but he's a liar, as we know. So I think that storyline is fantastic. It's a Sunday night matchup. Aaron Rodgers finally gets his crack at the Green Bay Packers, who did him wrong. They did their job.
No,
I completely agree, Carey. You know that. But no, that I think is the biggest storyline or the best storyline.
That's your biggest storyline?
Yeah, what's yours?
The Ravens. Lamar's back. Let's see what you got, baby. What?
Okay.
Did somebody drop something? Are the same token, Anthony, are the Bears real? At 4-2, are they real?
Okay.
They're
real and they're spectacular.
Yes,
the Bears,
they are. Huh?
They're playing the Bears.
Yeah. Bears are 4-2. Carey?
Yep.
With multiple road wins.
What are your Steelers, Carey? 4-2. All right. Thanks.
4-2.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Marsh, you want in on this action?
In terms of what?
Just pick anything.
In terms of what, Anthony?
He's ticked off.
Why is he so mad?
Because I roasted the Vikings at the start of the segment.
You know what? I roasted you and bet the board.
Thank you.
We're even now.
You know I'm spiteful.
You are.
All right. We even?
We're even, Anthony.
Right.
Biggest storyline for me is definitely the Sunday night game.
There you go. Okay.
It has to be.
We're on the same. Well, according to Jamie, who just yelled at me, it's not.
I didn't yell at you.
But I completely agree with you, Marsh.
Yeah. I just said there's other storylines. You're like, there's really not much to talk about. Just my Packers and the Steelers. I said, no. I said the Ravens are interesting because.
Like that.
I didn't say anything like that.
Guys,
why does he sound like that when he makes fun of you?
I don't know.
Here's all I'll tell you. That's what I hear. Okay? That's what I hear. It's not my fault. It may not be what he's saying or how but it's what I hear.
Well, we established yesterday that you need to get your damn hearing checked.
No. I hear the high pitch sounds just fine.
All right.
You're talking about I hear that.
Jamie, which team do you have under the microscope in Week 8 and why?
Well, Anthony, all jokes aside here,
such a jerk.
I know I am. It's Friday. I'm extra crusty on Fridays.
Usually not, but your team lost last night 7-4.
Yeah, boy, did they finished third in that one. Damn it. Under the microscope, I think it's the Steelers. I do, because I don't know what the hell the Steelers are. Aaron Rodgers has an okay game. The defense stinks, and the field goal kicker has a big game. And then they find themselves at 4-2 in the division. And the division, let's just be honest, has stubbed its toe so far this season. But the Steelers are right there in the mix, top of the division. What are the Steelers? And I think we're going to find out quickly if Aaron Rodgers can still scoot around the field enough with Micah Parsons breathing down the back of his neck.
I like it. Carey.
I'm going to go Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
you're on the road in Carolina. Carolina is 3-0 at home. They've actually been playing really well, surprisingly, and Buffalo's lost 2 in a row. Who are you, Buffalo? What team are you? What version of you are we going to get? I think that's going to be a better game than on paper most people might think. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's the Buffalo Bills. I want to know who are they? Are they a real contender in that AFC East. So they are a real contender in the AFC. And what do you get from Carolina?
I'm with you on that. Last time we saw the Bills, they were getting exposed in Atlanta on Monday Night Football, and then they had the bye. How much can you fix in a bye week? Well, they had some real issues, especially on defense. And this Carolina team has been better than anybody has expected them to be. So they had a rough start. They went 0-2, but they have played really good football. Now they're 4-3 overall. Now, Andy Dalton is starting. But, again, I think this is an interesting spot for the Bills. And Andy Dalton, of course, is?
Red Rocket.
That's right. Marsh?
For me, it's the Denver Broncos. They take on the Dallas Cowboys. Last week, Denver, good comeback, but you don't necessarily want to be in that situation against the Giants. I think the Cowboys are a better team than the Giants. The Cowboys have a pretty good offense. CeeDee Lamb back for the second week after injury. We know that George Pickens is a player as well. So I'm interested to see how that game goes. Dallas not so good on the road, but I feel like there's a lot of question marks surrounding Denver. I don't necessarily know what type of team they are. We know that they're a playoff contender, but a lot of their games have been kind of too close for comfort for me. So I'm interested to see how they play against Dallas.
All right, which quarterback is under the most pressure to have a big game, CD?
Either quarterback playing in Pittsburgh on Sunday. I think Jordan Love is under pressure to prove that they made the right decision for moving on. I think Aaron Rodgers is under pressure to prove that you made a wrong decision. Like, I think this is a bigger game than Aaron Rodgers will admit. He's kind of cool, calm, and collected and doesn't really, allow people to know, I think, what he's thinking internally. But I think this is a huge game for him. You're going to play the team that drafted you, that drafted your replacement, that moved on from you, and now you get a chance to light them up. I think this is a huge game for them. And conversely, if you don't perform well, Jordan Love, you're going to hear some people question, like, well, why the hell did we draft him and not keep the guy we had? So I think either one of those quarterbacks in Pittsburgh is going to be the biggest story for those quarterbacks this weekend.
I agree with that. For me, maybe the side stage to the big show is Caleb Williams and Lamar Jackson. Reason being is, Caleb Williams, can you keep this thing going to where your team remains in a playoff discussion? And Lamar Jackson, can you pull your team up off the canvas and make a run at this thing?
I agree. Lamar was my guy, and I can't wait to see if he's got any sort of rust or it's a situation where he elevates the Ravens and they're right back in. And we're talking on Monday, hey, watch out because this Ravens team, the schedule lines up. Marsh, you got anybody different?
There's a few different quarterbacks I'm thinking of. The team's really not that good. Both teams not really good, but the Texans and C.J. Stroud, that offense is horrible. He was good 2 years ago, but he has continually gotten worse. So I'm interested to see how he plays after an abysmal game against the Seahawks last week. And then, of course, Tua. Like, what's going on in Miami? The Falcons, they're 3-3 right now. What Falcon team are you going to get? I don't know. I don't think any of us. Nobody knows.
Really know.
They don't know. With the knee injury.
What's up,
Anthony? Penix is questionable.
Oh, he'll be fine.
Oh, Kirky football, the answer. Coming back, baby.
I'd rather have Allen Iverson under center.
I know, he's like Tua. He won't be able to see over the line.
That's
what Tua said, Carey. That's his latest thing. He has a hard time seeing his receivers in their routes because it's the line of scrimmage. They got some real big guys here.
Yeah.
I got some thoughts about Tua that I'll save.
All right. We'll get to him maybe a little bit later on. We do have the Sports Six-Pack Part 1 coming up, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line.
Hey, Carey, what do you think of Tua?
Yeah, maybe that'll be the first question.
I won't say it, so don't ask.
Sports Six-Pack next on 101 ESPN.
I think we're all looking for a real smart, stable investment, and I think everyone's tired of being stressed out by the stock market. You watch that thing in the morning. By the end of the day, you're stressed out. There's anxiety. You got lots of questions and phone calls you're making. No, if you're looking for a smart, stable investment, why don't you trust some of the experts out there? I trust guys with lots of money. How'd they get that money? Because they're smart. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Shad Khan are three of the most famous guys that are all putting value into U.S. farmland. But you don't need to be a billionaire either to get in on any of this. AgVest Advisors has managed over $900 million in farmland deals across 10 states, offering full-service support to families and investors just like you. From pre-closing to farm management that optimizes your returns, call AgVest founder Chris Bronner at 618-520-7022. Again, that's 618-520-7022. Or you can always visit agvestadvisors.com to find out how you can get involved with U.S. farmland. Again, that's agvestadvisors.com. Buy land. They're not making it anymore.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the Utah Mammoth last night by a final score of 7-4. Blues look to get back in the win column as they'll take on the Detroit Red Wings tomorrow, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. If you missed our interview with Jeremy Rutherford earlier today, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and all of our shows, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Tonight, we have Game 1 of the World Series as the Blue Jays host the Dodgers. Pregame starts at 6. First pitch is at 7. Coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll have the Sports Six-Pack, Part 1, next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
All right, it is time for the Sports Six-Pack, Part 1 here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Marsh, what do you got for question 1?
Question number 1.
All right, gentlemen. This was something that we talked about yesterday. However, Carey was not on the show, and some of the listeners want to know his opinion on said situation. So the water boy asked Carey, what do you think of the alleged allegations on the NBA, and how big of an impact do you think these allegations will have on NBA viewership?
I don't think it'll have an impact on viewership, but I do think it's some really bad allegations, and obviously everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But you know, some of the things that they're saying about Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier potentially betting that he was going to telling people that he was going to get injured or to bet the under. Anytime you're dealing with the integrity of the game, I think that's just a bad business. And then I think with Chauncey Billups, it just doesn't sound like it was a good person. Things that he was being accused of in terms of rigging poker games or rigging games. Again, all of these things are alleged and they're innocent until proven guilty. But these are just the reports that are coming out. I just think that those are a bad look for the NBA. But in every in every facet, in every entity, you always have people that are doing things that are counterproductive to what you're trying to do as a whole. Anthony,
Jamie.
But you're trying to weed out the bad seeds, and hopefully, this is an isolated incident. I know that sports gambling is a part of all sports at this point, but you just can't have guys messing with the integrity of the game. You had Tim Donaghy a few years ago, referee for the NBA that went to jail, went to prison, for some of the things that he did. You don't want that in your game, and you already have conspiracy theorists who believe that these games are rigged. Jamie, you played in the NHL. I played in the NFL. I never once had a person come to me and say, hey, we're going to fix this game to make X amount of dollars. That guy would get punched in his face. So this is not these are isolated incidents where people are doing things and trying to capitalize and make more money. It's not like they're not making money anyways, but it's a weird incident for me. But yeah, I don't think it's going to affect viewership of the NBA at all. Those that like it, and they believe in the integrity of the game.
Question number 2.
From the 636, is Jim Montgomery doing too much with the Blues lines, mixing them up every game instead of just letting the guys play? It's been 7 games, and I think the lines have been different every game. Let them get better by playing with the same lines. What do you think about that?
A couple things. It's been 7 games, and it's been completely inconsistent, which means you haven't found a winning combination yet. And I'm just going to go and trust the resume of one of the best coaches in the National Hockey League. I'm going to trust his decision-making. We certainly trusted him enough to hire him. We fired a coach that we had just signed in order to acquire Jim Montgomery because he's such a great head coach. And then he brought this team to a level we haven't seen in 3 or 4 years, to where the Blues should have eliminated the President's Trophy Winnipeg Jets. I'm going to trust Monty. 7 games in, I'm going to give Monty a little bit more runway.
Question number 3.
From the 314, Green Bay has not won in Pittsburgh since 1970. Go Steelers. That's from fans in Florida. My question for you guys is, based on what the 314 just texted in, how much emphasis do you put on stats from previous years that have nothing to do with the current team that is on the field? Do you find when you're looking at a game, when you're picking a game, do you look at those stats and base whatever your pick is on prior seasons? Do you have to take that into account?
You don't have to take it into account, but my recommendation is, if you are going to take it into account, take it into account for everything. For example, you just brought up the Packers and Steelers. Texas A&M plays at LSU tomorrow night. They have not won in Baton Rouge since they joined the SEC. So if you're going to do it for one situation, you better do it for all of them, because you have this line of thinking like, hey, what's happened before, it's going to happen again. For me, it should have no bearing on it. Zero. So to me, the Packers are a better overall team, despite their struggles, than Pittsburgh. I trust Green Bay's defense more than I trust Pittsburgh's defense. Obviously, the Steelers can move the ball, but I still trust Green Bay's defense to get enough stops. But if Jordan Love turns the ball over 3 times, as Carey is like to say, it ain't going to matter. Yeah. So for me, it shouldn't have any bearing, but if you do play that game, you might as well play it in every sport, and just roll with the historic head-to-head trends. That's my take.
Yeah, I think if the Packers lose, it won't be because they haven't won there since 1970, whatever. I think it'll be, like Anthony said, they didn't perform well enough, and Pittsburgh took care of the ball and they scored more points. I do think in terms of, like, when you have a team like Miami that is a warm weather city and they go to play in Kansas City and it's -6 degrees, I think that always matters. I think when they get off that plane and they are in a different climate, different environment, because those players, you become accustomed to the weather and things like that in the southern part of the country, the United States of America, that country. And so going elsewhere when it's really cold, I think that does play a part in it, even if it's not the same players that have been there for 10, 15, 20 years. I think that just, you get accustomed to playing in a certain weather, and going to play elsewhere makes it a little bit difficult.
I agree with that. Like the Dolphins having to play outside in the cold and all that, their roster's not set up that way. They don't typically practice in that. That I think is a little bit different.
What about coaches though? Like if, like I mentioned to you the other day, when I listened to the radio broadcast driving home before the Thursday night football game when the Steelers took on the Bengals, and I said, hey, maybe we should flip our pick because the Steelers, for whatever reason, aren't good or as good on Thursday night football under Mike Tomlin. That
I think there's some merit to that.
Because there's like almost like a preparation thing on a short week.
Or like the London game, sometimes coaches have different philosophies in terms of when to leave. But the Rams left, I think, the day before and wound up kicking kicking the spit out of the Jaguars there. So, but yeah, I do. I think like Andy Reid is a certain record. He's got an unbelievable record coming off a bye or coming off of a long layoff. So. I think from a preparation, like Nick Saban's a perfect example. You never bet against Nick Saban in the first game of the year because he could prepare for you, and then you never bet against Saban after a long layoff in a playoff situation or a national championship game because the preparation is usually off the chart. So I give some merit to that, Marsh. All right, let's do part 2 of the Sports Six Pack next on 101 ESPN.
If you're thinking about a remodel in your home, specifically your kitchen or your bathroom, or maybe that outdoor living space, please call my friends over at E&B Granite. They're located at 6135 Manchester Avenue. And I did my kitchen a couple of years ago, called E&B. They came in and did an amazing job. But it all started down in the showrooms. That's why I suggest you head down there. You get to talk to the in-house design staff, and you might have a great idea of what you want, and they will just assist you in the process. But if you're like me, I had lots of questions. I wanted to know what was popular, what was trending, what was selling, what wasn't selling, and they walked me through the entire process. It was awesome. Ended up with a beautiful kitchen, soapstone countertops, beautiful backsplash, new cabinets, new flooring, all of it, because E&B Granite walked me through the process, and they did a fantastic job of adhering to my budget. They didn't try to upsell me on anything. In fact, they looked for deals for me, which was amazing. So please don't wait any longer. Give them a call. Book an appointment with one of the in-house design staff. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number's 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300, or you can always visit them at enbgranite.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your light style, St. Louis.
All right, part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Let's get to question 4.
Question number 4.
All right, from the 619, what do the Blue Jays have to do in order to upset the Dodgers?
It's not about what the Blue Jays do. It's what the Dodgers don't do, which is play. You good with that, Carey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
They're gonna. I mean, in all seriousness, the Blue Jays are gonna have to figure out a way to jump LA's outstanding pitching, the starting pitching. You could say, hey, get to the bullpen and do your damage there, but that didn't work for the Brewers. Yamamoto went a complete 9. Blake Snell could have went 9, only went 8. It's going to be real rough for them, but they're going to have to figure out somehow to attack this LA starting pitching.
They don't strike out a lot, which is good.
You're going to have to. You really have to drive up the pitch counts. You're going to have to see a lot of pitches, and it's one of those situations where Dunk used to talk about eliminating as many pitches as you can early in a game. So you figure out whatever Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani, and Glasnow doesn't have a feel for. Eliminate those pitches to put yourself in a spot where they might miss one time and you can jump on it. But these guys are so good that it's going to be difficult to do that. Mm-hmm. But that's essentially what you're going to have to do. If Ohtani, for example, is a 4-pitch mix, you got to be able to eliminate 2 of those pitches, know what he's not going to throw in a certain situation. Hopefully you get in a hitter's count and he makes a mistake. I mean, Toronto's going to have to be real smart and try to drive up the pitch.
Sides.
What's that?
At the plate and at the mound, because you got a dangerous lineup that you have to face as well. So I don't feel like you really get a break with this Dodgers team. The pitching has been outstanding this playoff run, and then obviously what the lineup for them is able to do. I don't want to say you have to be perfect, but you do have to take care of your business and eliminate the mental mistakes and any errors.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 5.
From Grant Francis Fan Club, if Torpo's return is not imminent, should the Blues call up Dvorsky or Stenberg for a few weeks?
I don't see why. Just based upon the top 6 players, because that's kind of where they'd have to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew Joseph is playing really good right now as well. Yeah, with Torpo being out, I don't see one of those guys as the call-up or replacement. I think that if you had a Holloway injury, Buchnevich, pick your top 6 guy, then you maybe see those guys. But you never know. They might bring him up, play on the 3rd line, and then somebody else drops to the 4th line, and you create a little internal competition like that. It's an interesting question, one that the organization would have to see, what direction they want to go in, whether they want to call up a checker or call up some talent and drop somebody down in the lineup.
Mm-hmm. What about Milan Lucic? Are we any closer? Do we know? Miss anything over the last couple of days?
Yeah, no, you haven't missed anything. I haven't done a Luch checkup in a while here. Man, I'd like to see him in the lineup, though, especially against some of these teams we're playing. It'd be nice to have him patrolling out there. But from what I understand, nothing's imminent, but he's still working his way here, and he's still on a PTO, and it's kind of where we're at.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we get a text from Biscuit saying, thank you, Stalter, for giving a real answer and not score more runs than the other team.
You're welcome. That is important, though.
Oh,
I don't want to overlook that, but
you gotta do that too.
Yeah, Toronto's they got their work cut out for it, but they got some outstanding hitters. We'll see.
Question number 6.
From the 573, at this point in the season, who has the best chance to win Rookie of the Year in the NFL this year, in your opinion? For me, it's Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good.
He started off like a bat out of hell. Been a little banged up lately. But Egbuka's probably your front runner here. Let's see.
I think you would have to throw Jackson Dart into the mix as well as Cam Scatterboo.
Yeah.
I don't think either one of those guys Not in my opinion. I wouldn't put them in that running just yet.
I think Tyler Warren's got to get some consideration.
Tyler Warren is a really good pick. Man, it feels like he's been in the league for a long time, doesn't it? The way that he just sort of fit right into that Indianapolis offense. He fits like a glove.
Yeah, he does.
He kick it out.
It is perfect. Yeah.
It reminds me of tight end that they had there before, Dallas Clark.
Dallas Clark from
Iowa.
Yeah, nailed it.
Tight end university. By the way, I think it's National Tight End Week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, outside of that, I don't think we're missing anybody, right? I mean, Judkins, if he continues to have any more games like he did last week, then he'll get some play.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now, Marsh is right. It's Ibuka, and then from there, I think Tyler Warren get the. I'll say Tyler Warren. It's because I don't like the Bucks.
But
Yeah,
But you love Baker Mayfield.
well, that's because he's a quarterbacking god,
oh goodness gracious!
which is what
How'd he do a couple weeks ago? What was it, last week?
Baker.
Yeah,
It's unfair. Lions didn't have most of their secondary.
exactly.
All right, Bo Prabula and the Mizzou Tigers will take on Vanderbilt tomorrow in what could be an elimination spot for those two teams. Although it's still 2 losses, you can make a run. But we'll get into that matchup. We'll break it all down next on 101 ESPN. Time Check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Mizzou and Vanderbilt. We've talked about this game the last couple of days, but let's really break it down. The biggest question that you guys have about Mizzou heading into Sunday. Carey, what's the biggest question you have about Mizzou heading into, I said Sunday, excuse me, tomorrow, Saturday.
Oh, so I'm playing Sunday, is it?
Yeah.
That's good. What version of Bo Prabula are you going to get? I think it's important that he takes care of the football, runs that offense effectively and efficiently, and also not just Bo, but what are you going to get from Ahmad Hardy? When he runs the football, obviously they have success. They do a fantastic job. Are you going to call his number? Are you going to give him those opportunities? Are those run lanes going to be available for him to stick his foot in the ground and get north? Are you going to lean heavily on him? Or are you going to lean heavily on Bo to try to win this game? You're going to have to manage the clock. I wouldn't want Diego Pavia to have the ball as often as he has and allow him to do the things that he's done offensively. So for me, what are you going to get from Bo Prabula? And what is your mindset in terms of allowing Ahmad Hardy to be that lead back, one of the best running backs in the SEC?
So mine's similar to yours, CD. Mine is whether or not we're going to see Bo Prabula test Vanderbilt more through the air vertically. I've brought this up before. Against Alabama, I thought the biggest difference was Mizzou did not take their shots until late in that game, until, quite frankly, it was too late. They were down by 10. Then they went right up the field. They scored a touchdown, and then but the game was essentially over. Alabama just needed to, I think, recover an onside kick or run out the clock, whatever it was. But, if Mizzou's going to win this game, Bo Prabula can't just be running around and just making a couple of short passes. He's got to test Vanderbilt vertically. And I do think if there is some wiggle with this Vanderbilt defense, I do think they will give up some big plays. Defensively overall, they're 47th in efficiency. That's certainly worse than what Alabama was and even Auburn. Alabama is 19th in defensive efficiency and Auburn is 12th. So this is a worse defense than what Mizzou has faced the last couple of weeks. That should benefit Ahmad Hardy as well. And, of course, if you get the running game going like you're talking about, CD, you can start to take those shots deep. You can start to, mix in the play action, and hopefully things open up for Bo Prabula over the middle of the field. But Ahmad Hardy only had 52 yards rushing against Alabama and 58 against Auburn. That's a stark difference compared to 130 against UMass, 138 against South Carolina, 250 against Louisiana, who wasn't playing. I don't think they had 11 guys on the field. And then 100.
12.
What's that?
They could have had 12.
They could have had 12, and it wouldn't have mattered.
13.
Yeah. So I think that's my biggest question. Will Bo Prabula test this Vanderbilt defense deep? If not, man, Ahmad Hardy's going to face some crowded boxes. What about you, Jamie? What's your biggest question?
Yeah, a lot along the same lines as you guys. I think for me, Ahmad Hardy is the difference maker here. I think, obviously we focus on Bo Prabula, but if you can get the running game going, that opens up some other areas of offense for you. I think that's an important part of it. And the flip side is the defense have to keep Diego Pavia in the pocket. Mm-hmm. Keep him in the pocket. Kind of like the Bucs did to Patrick Mahomes the one year, just off the edges, keep him in the pocket. Don't let him scramble out of there. I think if you force Diego Pavia to throw the ball down the field and he doesn't have the option to scramble, because that's when he really is dangerous, is when he's scrambling, or even if it's a run play that's designed for the quarterback, like that's where he has been dynamic, we'll say. Because his passing game is fine, but really it's his athleticism and his ability to scramble that really helps his game. If you can keep him in the pocket and force him to be just a quarterback, I think that helps you.
I agree. Go ahead, CD.
I was going to say, one of the things, when you were naming those teams where Ahmad Hardy had those huge games, I think one thing to note is who they were playing, right?
Exactly.
You're looking at these last couple of games versus SEC competition, and I know he had over 100 yards against South Carolina, but the last few weeks, Alabama, Auburn, those two defenses have held them to 52 and 58 yards. So the question becomes was the first few weeks, the first 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks, was that the version of Ahmad Hardy and this offensive line? Was that who they are? Or is it the last couple of weeks when you're playing more stout defenses? And you're going to have to answer that question on Saturday. Are we an elite running football team, or are we just an elite running football team against the UMasses, against the Kansases of the world? So that's a question that I think has to be answered as well for Mizzou on Saturday.
No, I completely agree with you. What's interesting, and Jamie, you kind of brought this up. So what do you do against Diego Pavia? Do you want to actually rush him, or do you want to contain him? And those are two different things, because Zion Young and Damon Wilson II, those two guys provide an outstanding pass rush for Mizzou. But do you want to create running lanes for Diego Pavia because you're trying to get after him and create pressure? Or do you want to force him to beat you from the pocket? It's going to be an interesting conundrum for Mizzou and the coaching staff as they're preparing this week for Diego Pavia. Because if you flat out get after him, maybe he makes a mistake, he throws an interception, you can turn the tide, you could steal a possession away from him. But if you keep him in the pocket and force him into a drop-back passing game, he also could make some mistakes. So, see, do you have a thought on that? Because you got two outstanding pass rushers. Do you want to let him go and maybe create those running lanes, or do you want to keep him in the pocket?
I'm keeping him in the pocket. I'm going to rush my two defensive ends outside and make sure they keep him contained. I'm going to rush my two defensive tackles up the middle, A gap, B gap, and have those linebackers, if I have to have a linebacker, spying him. But if I want him to try to I want to keep him in the pocket. And if he escapes, he has to go through the trash, through the mud, and hopefully I have a linebacker there or a defensive tackle that can fall off and make the tackle. What I don't want to do is see Diego Pavia outside of my perimeter, on the perimeter, being able to escape the pocket, rolling out, booting out, and being able to get outside. And now he can be a danger with his arm or his legs. And what generally happens is once he escapes the pocket on the outside, now the defenders have to make a decision. Okay, is he about to cross the line of scrimmage, so I need to come up and make a tackle? Or do I stay back on my receiver, dialed in, locked in, and allow him to rush for 15 to 20 yards? I think anytime a quarterback of his caliber gets outside of the pocket, it's hell on a defense and a defensive coordinator. So, in my opinion, I'm going to rush upfield, rush to the level of him, not rush past him, because that also can create those running lanes for him to escape, but rush to the level of the passer and force him up to step up inside of the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field, because I don't want to have that problem of him being able to run it or pass it on a particular play because it's dangerous for our defense. I agree. I completely agree. We saw, we've seen, there's other examples, but, the Monday Night Football game between the Falcons and the Bills and what the Falcons did to Josh Allen, they kept him in the pocket, exactly how you just described it. They kept him in the pocket and then forced him to look, drop his eyes, and then they got to him. The difference was Atlanta did such a tremendous job in the secondary. They played a lot of man-to-man, and they locked down Buffalo's wide receivers. I don't know if Missouri can do that with Vanderbilt's wide receivers, but that is a trade-off that maybe will work in Mizzou's favor. The other thing I think is going to be a huge factor here, guys, is these two teams are incredibly even. There's not much wiggle room. This is why Vanderbilt's only a 2.5 to a 3-point favorite, and that's essentially home field advantage. So if these two teams are playing in the parking lot, it'd be a pick 'em. Mm-hmm. Turnovers are going to be crucial. Mizzou is a -2 on the year. Vanderbilt is a +4. Now, that's the entire season, but we've seen lately that Mizzou has turned the ball over, especially Bo Perbula. You cannot lose possessions on this. Punts are fine, but you cannot give away possessions like Mizzou has done the last couple of weeks against Alabama and Auburn. I think that's a huge factor. You got to take care of the football. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's number one rule of an offensive player. That's one of the conversations we have, one of the first conversations you have when you're in that offensive meeting room. If someone entrusts you to touch the football, whether you're a passer or a pass catcher or a runner, you are carrying the life and hopes and dreams of the entire team and the entire university. You got to take care of the ball. Absolutely. And so that has to be the mindset every time you're given the football. And if you're turning the ball over, giving them multiple opportunities to score, it's going to be a bad situation for you. You got to take care of the ball first and foremost. And if all things are equal, then you put yourself in the best position to possibly win the game on the road.
No doubt. All right, boys, prediction time. Carey, what's your prediction?
Oh, come on, man. Now you got me first. You know what? Let's go 24-17. Vanderbilt.
Oh, come on, man.
Jeez, Carey.
What did I do? All right, you're right. 24-20. Vanderbilt.
Oh, you're making it worse.
What'd I do?
Nothing.
You know exactly what you did.
It's fine.
I didn't do anything.
It's fine.
Jamie.
Anthony.
Mizzou 20, Vanderbilt 17 in overtime.
Wow.
Ooh.
I got Mizzou 24-21 over Vanderbilt. Missed field goal at the end. Vandy scrambles and screws it up.
There you go. Marshy.
Oh, man. I think this will be a high-scoring game. I don't like how things went last week, the last 2 weeks. I know Mizzou won last week.
They beat Auburn. We all saw it.
32-27.
32-27. Now, you just turned your mic off.
For who?
You know what? I don't want to be called out by a drink. Give me 32-27 Mizzou.
There we go. There we go.
Drink.
He probably will. I mean, let's be honest.
As long as you
He's listening.
buy some Amway from him.
Come on,
Frank will be
Jamie.
fine.
Jeez.
32-27 M-I-Z.
Z-O-U, baby. Let's
All
go. Right, Carey?
I thought he said N-I. I was going to say L. N-I-L.
That's the new chant.
Yeah.
N-I-L.
Yep. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. NFL Week 8. Biggest questions next. right, biggest questions in the NFL for Week 8. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Aaron Rodgers versus his former team. Now, I mentioned this before. Rodgers says it's not a revenge spot, but is the bigger concern, Carey, the defense for the Steelers, ironically, in some respects?
Well, I mean, if they don't realize that they couldn't realize last week that Jamar Chase was going to get 20 passes thrown to him by the time he got to 21st, I think that's a problem.
I would say so.
Hopefully they corrected that issue and they won't be facing a receiver as dynamic as Jamar Chase this week. But you still have to be dialed in and locked in the entire game and get guys on the ground. You cannot have blow-ups in coverage where you don't know where guys are running to into empty spaces and not being prepared. I won't say not being prepared, but not being able to adapt and adjust on the fly of covering guys up and making sure you get them on the ground. So I think the pass rushers, I love what they do in terms of getting to the quarterback. Now we got to marry that with the back end. If you're going to create pressure, which means sometimes you got to bring 6 or 7 guys, you got to be able to cover on the back end in those man-to-man situations, and hopefully they can get that done this weekend.
I mean, there's no way that Mike Tomlin and this defense, they don't fix their issues, right? I mean, one, Jamar Chase isn't on the other side for the Packers. Not that they don't have weapons, but I can't imagine, Carey, that Mike Tomlin didn't spend some extra time with his defensive coaches this week getting this right.
I'm sure they did. Again, you have that many blown coverages, and I go to like the last portion of that game. I think it was the last drive where Jamar Chase is running an under route, and he's already been targeted 20 times, and he's wide open, and there's no one within 20, 25 yards of him. That's a blown coverage. That's a mistake. That's. I don't think that's a defensive call. I think that's an error, a mental error from the defensive players, because you have to know where he is. So I'm sure that issues like that will be corrected. And the Steelers scored enough points to win that game last week. They really did. They did enough offensively to keep themselves in that game. It was just the defense not being able to get timely stops when needed, or being able to get the guys on the ground when they needed to.
All right, Lamar Jackson's return. Jamie, you and I think, agree with this, but I still think that there's time to turn this season around. But it is going to be interesting. This Bears team has been kind of an upstart team. Defensively, they've played much better. They're forcing turnovers now. They've actually won 2 road games, which is something that has been unheard of for the Chicago Bears over the years. So this is not a layup here for the Ravens. But with Lamar Jackson back, the defenders back, I do think there's plenty of time for Baltimore to turn things around, despite the fact that they've looked horrible. They've looked horrible with other guys.
Yeah, I think if you're Harbaugh here as the head coach, you look at this game and you go, hey, boys, this is a must-win for this team. We've got most of our guys back. We got our starting quarterback back under center. We have to treat this like a playoff elimination game today, because if we lose, it's almost insurmountable. But if you win, here's the next group of teams you've got. So that would put you at 2-5. I believe, 2-5 if you beat the Bears. Then you got the Dolphins, no offense to Marshy, the Vikings, the Browns, and the Jets. Could put you at 6-5.
I mean, come on.
Before you play the Bengals, and then the Steelers, and the Bengals. But
there's still time.
This to me is, if I'm looking at it this is it. This is the season for you guys. Because if you lose to the Bears, you go to 1-6, forget about it. You're done. No playoff chance. But if you don't lose, if you win, you beat this Bears team, you got 4 very winnable games in a row after that. Get you right back into the division here.
Yep.
So that's why I look at it.
All right. Do you feel the same, Carey?
Oh, yeah. I think that is an important game. I mean, like James said, you got your quarterback back healthy. He's questionable, but he's going to play more than likely. And you're starting to get healed. And they are a good football team. I mean, the losses that they have, you lost to the Bills week 1 by a point, right? You had that game pretty much in hand where you fumbled the ball late and gave them an opportunity. You lost to the Lions by 1 score. And then against the Chiefs is when Lamar got hurt, so we don't really consider that one. But I think they have a good enough team to put some things in place. 5 losses is a lot. you are going to be under an immense amount of pressure for the entire season with already having 5 losses. You're going to have to win, 10 to 11 of the next game. So, but it is doable for this team.
All right, Cowboys Broncos. I think this is a big test for Dallas just in terms of legitimacy, right? If you're the Cowboys, there's been a little buzz surrounding your team this year. Certainly Dak Prescott has played to an MVP level. But Carey, you had mentioned this before when I brought up Bijan Robinson at least being in the conversation of an MVP. Your team's got to win. You've got to be a playoff team. You got to be. You don't have to be one of the best teams in the league, but you certainly have to lead a winning team. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have not played well on the road. This is a tough place to play. But the Broncos have not been world beaters. They had a massive comeback against the Giants last week. They've been up and down. They almost lost to the Jets overseas. So I think this is a winnable game. But again, if Dallas can't win road games, then we really can't call them a legitimate wild card squad. How do you view this matchup, Carey?
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are the better team. The Broncos have their best win was on the road at Philadelphia about 3 weeks ago. That was a great win. Mm-hmm. But then, like you said, they went over to London. They barely beat the Jets. They were down late in that game against the Giants last week, where they had to claw back into that game. They were down pretty much that entire game.
Yep.
And the Giants aren't, in my opinion, a particularly great team. So I don't really know what the Broncos are. I don't know who they are. But I definitely think the Cowboys are the better team. They've got a couple of bad losses. They lost to the Panthers, which actually may not be a bad loss. They lost to the Eagles week 1, and then they tied against the Packers. So they are right there. But I do think that the Cowboys are the better team. And I think Dak has been playing at an MVP level. I love the addition of George Pickens. I loved what he did in Pittsburgh. I was sad to see him go. I thought him and DK would have been outstanding together. Mm-hmm. But you move on from him, and then you get him teamed up with CeeDee Lamb. Like, they are a potent offense that can score a lot of points, and if they can figure out things defensively, I think they'll be fine.
All right, do you give the Cowboys a chance, Jamie?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is the Cowboys' road record against Denver's home record. Mm-hmm. They're polar opposites, but the Cowboys, man, Dak Prescott, they're unpredictable. Now, will their defense show up to play at all? I don't know. We'll see. But Dak and those guys on offense have been playing pretty well.
All right, Giants, Eagles. Carey mentioned this. A.J. Brown. Yeah. A.J. Brown, we know you love the Eagles. A.J. Brown is out for this game. What chance do you give the Giants to pull off another upset? Carey, I'm assuming 0? Right around 0?
No. Yeah, I think the Eagles, again, they are not a perfect team, right? They are not picture perfect in how they run the ball this year, how they play defense this year, how their passing game has the efficiency of it. It's not been perfect, but what they have found is ways to win football games. Yeah, they got a couple of blemishes on their record. They lost we just talked about the Broncos loss. That was a bad loss because they were winning that game. I think they were up 21-0 or 21-7 at one point. And then you lose the following week at New York against the Giants. Mm-hmm. But all of the complaining and all of the outside noise, Jamie, you've been in locker rooms. You've been in situations where there's a lot of outside noise, and on the inside, you're like, yeah, we're fine. Like, I don't know what the hell they don't have a clue as to what they're talking about. And I think that's where the Eagles are. Yeah, A.J. Brown says things, and people may misconstrue his tweets and all of this and all of that. But at the end of the day, all they want to do is win. And they found ways to win week after week and year after year. And I expect the same thing this week. I don't give the Giants a chance this weekend.
I don't either, quite frankly. I don't think this is going to be close. Well, it might be close. The Eagles have tended to play a lot of close games, but I got the Eagles as well. Jamie, I'm assuming you're on that train as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do the last one. How did the Bills respond? So, again, last time we saw the Bills, we were playing Monday Night Football in Atlanta, and the Falcons exposed them. They exposed them offensively and defensively. They could not slow down the run. They'll face a running back in Rico Dowdle this weekend that has had very good games. Last week he was a little, he wasn't as productive, but Chuba Hubbard came back, so they're trying to mix in Chuba Hubbard as well. But you got Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton probably not going to light you up through the air. So if you can stop the run, if you can fix those issues, if you're Buffalo over the bye, then you should be in good shape. But Josh Allen also wasn't protected that much, and Carolina has a pretty good run defense. So Jamie, how do you think the Bills respond?
As well as the Panthers have played here recently, and they are 3-0 at home for that matter, I think the Bills just beat up on the Panthers. I think that they've had a bye week. They've had time to prepare. They've had time to scheme and look at whatever the Panthers have been doing. Mm-hmm. They are a superior team. So now, have they played that way? No, they haven't, but they are a superior team. And I think we find out quickly in this game that the Bills are there for business.
I think this game's going to be tight.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I think the Bills win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
I think it's like 35-14.
Wow, that would be a blowout. Carey?
Yeah, I think the Buffalo Bills got some things. Hopefully, they corrected some of their rush defense issues. They're second to last in the league with 156 yards allowed per game rushing. And you just talked about Rico Dowdle. You talked about Chuba Hubbard. They have had some success. They have found something in that running game in Carolina and their ability to get the ball in between those tackles and run downhill. So if Buffalo, I think it's going to be a much closer game than expected. As crazy as it sounds, I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina wins this game, because if you can run the football and keep control, you already have the recipe for how to contain Josh Allen in that pocket and not allow him to escape and get him outside of the pocket. Derek Brown, the defensive tackle for Carolina, has been outstanding as well.
Yes.
I really like what Carolina has done, and I think that if they're able to run the football with the success that they have so far this year, they could win this game.
All right, there you have it. Let's get into some college football week 9. Where we get the Roundtable coming up. So maybe we'll recap some of our thoughts on Mizzou, Vandy, and Illinois, Washington. But Texas A&M has not won in Baton Rouge since joining the SEC. Will the Aggies suffer their first loss tomorrow night against LSU? And who wins between Ole Miss and Oklahoma in what could be an elimination game of sorts? We'll get into the Week 9 Roundtable for college football next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you are in the market for a new car, look no further than Genesis of St. Charles. They are the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. Genesis of St. Charles is your trusted Genesis dealer, and it is spooky season. Shop wickedly wonderful offers all month long. This month only, get 0% APR for up to 60 months on all new Genesis models in stock. Those models are beautiful. Some of them have massaging seats. You'll get your lower lumbar worked on as you're driving from St. Charles down to St. Louis City, and this offer will absolutely end October 31st. If you want to trade in, they're offering more for your pre-owned vehicle than ever before. Every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. You must be within 125 miles. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. You can schedule it all online easily, or you can call them at 636-265-5215. If you're in the market for something new, visit Genesis of St. Charles. They're located right off of Mid Rivers Mall and Highway 70. If you're too busy to stop in, just reach out to them online at genesisofstcharles.com. That's genesisofstcharles.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. A lot going on this weekend. Hopefully we covered everything for you in today's show. The Blues, they lost last night to the Utah Mammoth by a final score of 7-4. They'll take on the Red Wings tomorrow. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We'll have some NFL action for you on Sunday. Panthers, Bills, Colts, Titans, and then, of course, here we go. Sunday Night Football, the Steelers will take on the Packers. Kickoff for that one at 7:20. But tonight we have Game 1 of the World Series, and the pregame will start right after our show at 6. Blue Jays, Dodgers. Pregame at 6, first pitch at 7. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews, including the one today with Jeremy Rutherford, and all of our shows. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Let's get back into college football with our College Football Week 9 Roundtable. That's next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN College Football Week 9 Roundtable. We broke down both the Mizzou-Vandy game as well as the Illinois-Washington matchup earlier in the show. So let's get to these other matchups, and maybe we'll circle back to those other two. But as I've mentioned a couple of times now, Texas A&M has not won in Baton Rouge since joining the SEC. Carey, do you see the Aggies suffering their first loss of the season tomorrow night against a desperate LSU team?
I don't. I don't think LSU is a good football team. I think defensively they are outstanding, but you can only do so much if your offense is unable to put points on the board and generate, offense and get things going in the manner in which you need them to. So for me, I think Texas A&M should win this game. Now, if they don't, I've said time and time again, you never really know who Texas A&M is. If they lose this game, you would say the same thing. You don't know who they are, and they are frauds every single year. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be the answer for who they are. But they should beat LSU, and I don't care that they haven't beaten them in 10, 12, 15 years, whatever it is at LSU. They should win this game if they have the expectation of being that playoff football team, the number 3 team in the country. They should go into LSU and beat the hell out of them.
Jamie, do you like LSU tomorrow night?
No, I think they take a beating. Quite honestly.
Nice.
I do. I haven't been impressed by that team week after week after week. I personally don't feel like I know what the hell LSU really is. Mm-hmm. You get the 1 week where the coach is mad at everybody saying, well, we won the game. And again, that goes back to Carey's point of a really good defense there, too, because the offense has not been blowing the doors off people.
Sure.
So I think A&M is a legit team. I don't think LSU is. I could be wrong, but that's my thoughts.
I don't trust LSU's offense. It's started to look a little better of late, but it's really been, defense first, and then, if we score, okay, if we score enough, great. But last week in Vanderbilt, who has an excellent offense, they were able to move the ball. You can move the ball on the ground against this LSU defense. Texas A&M, I think, is averaging like 6-something per rush over the last couple of weeks. So I like Texas A&M as well. A lot of the national pundits do not. A lot of the national pundits like LSU.
What's the line on this one?
It's only 2.5.
Well,
Texas A&M is laying 2.5.
No one knows who Texas A&M is year after year.
I do. They're the Aggies.
Hey, play Texas, Carey.
Anthony. Come on, Anthony.
What?
Yes, they're the Aggies.
Oh, well, we're criticizing. We're criticizing.
This is this problem.
Oh, you criticizing an unbeaten team? Huh?
This is this problem.
What's your deal?
I know they don't wear orange, but come on.
You're right. My apologies. What does the A&M stand for? Is it
agricultural and something.
Mechanics?
Is it mining?
No, it's agriculture management.
There you go. Jamie's got
why is it and? It can't be agricultural and management.
Yeah, of course it is. Who's going to manage the agriculture?
Mechanical.
Management is.
I
We
said
bought it.
mechanical.
Jamie got us. It's agricultural and mechanical college.
You guys
Texas.
fell for management. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, you have to manage agriculture. So
Don't listen to Jamie.
This is where we were at yesterday with the moon and stars.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's 5:30. This is when we start throwing crap out there to see who bites.
Gosh, Carey swallowed the hook.
Man, I did too.
I didn't.
You did.
I said it couldn't be.
Now you nibbled at it, Carey.
Yeah, I knew better.
All right. Ole Miss goes to Oklahoma, and this feels a lot like the Mizzou Vanderbilt game in that a loss doesn't eliminate you, but a win gets you on the fast track to like making the playoffs. Like you're in great shape, right? So whoever wins between Mizzou and Vandy and Ole Miss and Oklahoma tomorrow is on a really good path to potentially making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ole Miss suffered its first loss last week against Georgia, a game that they were winning until the midway through the fourth quarter. Oklahoma, though, defensively, one of the best in the nation. So, CD, you got Ole Miss or Oklahoma?
I got Ole Miss in this one. I think Ole Miss is the better team. I know John Mateer came back a couple of weeks ago from that hand surgery. I just think Ole Miss is yeah. He was there.
Something. His body returned.
He was there. But I like Ole Miss. I think, that was a tough loss against Georgia. And as you said, they were leading that game for most of the game, but just were unable to finish it. But Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, what he's able to do. Now, the question becomes, because Lane Kiffin is a mercenary. He is a guy that doesn't mind leaving a program whenever it suits him. So there have been rumors of maybe him going to Florida or some other schools out there. And I wonder if that could be a some things that kind of seep into what you're doing and lose focus for that Ole Miss team. But if he's dialed in, they're dialed in. I think they're the better team.
I actually like Ole Miss too. They're a 5.5-point underdog, and this is another situation.
What?
Yeah, this is another situation where
sense.
A lot of the national pundits feel as though like Ole Miss is done. Oklahoma will roll. I just don't trust Oklahoma's offense. And you tell me that Lane Kiffin won't have a good game plan to figure out how to put up some points against Oklahoma. So I'm with you, Carey. And Jamie, it seems like you're with us too.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, they're basically giving Ole Miss no chance with this line. I don't agree with that. Ole Miss, I mean, did they fumble away the game, not literally, but figuratively, against Georgia? Yeah, but up until that point, they were rolling, man.
If they win that game, I wonder if the line for this game's like 3 or 2.5.
If they beat Georgia?
If they beat Georgia, I wonder if this game's like 2.5 Oklahoma or 1.5.
In their favor. No,
in their favor, it would be.
They wouldn't be favored.
What?
Not in Norman. They wouldn't be.
I think you're crazy.
I'm talking about Oklahoma, guys, not Oklahoma State.
You're not talking about Oklahoma from the 90s either, though.
There's no Brian Bosworth playing here, pal.
You know what, guys? I'm on the Rebels, too. We were like this, and now you guys are attacking me.
Well, it's because you say silly things.
You changed it.
There's no way, even if Ole Miss beats Georgia last week, that they would be favored in this game.
How would they not be? They'd be ranked like 3rd or 4th in the nation. You're telling me they wouldn't be favored?
Oklahoma is also ranked.
Guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay. All right.
What is he doing?
Okay. All right. I see where this is going. That's fine. You know what? Rest of the show, we're done here. Okay?
Guys, what do you think of UCLA marching to Indiana and putting a beating on them? Okay. Macaulay Culkin's got quite an offense here these days.
That Indiana team is one of the best in the country, man. I got to tell you, like, they're a top 5 defense and offense.
How would you know, Carey?
I watched them.
Carey, how butthurt will you be if UCLA keeps it closer than Illinois did?
I mean, they only have to keep it within 50, so.
Yeah. We had like 6, 7 DBs hurt,
6, 7.
6, 7 DBs hurt. It's okay.
Man. All right, let's wrap things up next on 101 ESPN.
It's so much fun.
Hey, you don't have that much longer to the end of the month, which means you got to head out to Auto Centers Nissan, take advantage of the Scary Good Deals event that's going on out in Herculaneum. Right now, you could drive home a brand new 2025 Nissan Rogue, a brand new 2025 Nissan Pathfinder or a Murano with no money down, 0% APR for 60 months, and no payments for 3 months. That's right, no tricks, just Scary Good Deals, and it's all at Auto Centers where they have over 1,000 new and used vehicles all in one location, so you don't have to run around town, you don't have to lot hop, no gimmicks, just the biggest selection in St. Louis. Plus, all new Nissans at Auto Centers Nissan are backed by a complimentary lifetime warranty on the vehicle and a 30-day return promise. If you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle, bring it back within 30 days. They'll refund you your money, and they'll set you up with something else that you might be looking at. If you already own a Nissan, bring it in for service, and your first oil change is free, even if you didn't buy from Auto Center. So don't wait. These Scary Good Deals disappear soon. In fact, they wrap up on Halloween. So that's next Friday, a week from today. So visit AutoCentersNissan.com online or in person. If you head right off I-55 and McNutt Street, they're just minutes from South County. Check them out. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. Missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Shaver Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today. starting off with Carey Davis. Carey, what'd you learn today?
I learned that when Jamie speaks, you should trust, but always verify.
Yes, that's just good old-fashioned advice there, man.
Never heard that
No matter
before.
what he says, trust, but verify.
You say that about me with Stalter in the room?
What do you mean by that?
The original Stalter it up guy?
I don't think that's very nice.
I'm not trying to be mean. But you even outed yourself many years ago. I just Stalter it up. Oh, okay.
I Staltered that.
Yeah.
That means I made it up. All right, Jamie.
Yeah, I learned that you guys have absolutely no faith at all in my UCLA Bruins. They, by the way, nobody even knows who the real head coach is right now because all they do is talk about Macaulay Culkin, who's taking over the offense.
Marsh, what'd you learn?
I learned that Carey loves watching Carson Wentz play football, wants to continue watching him play football the rest of the season.
Marsh, that's because I care about you, and I don't want you to have
Carey,
to watch J.J. McCarthy play
If you
football.
cared about me, you would not be saying that. Because I've told you multiple times I don't want to watch that guy play football anymore.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, he has. I mean, he's been very vocal about it. Yeah. What I learned is that you guys have no feel or concept for what a true favorite would be in college football. You think that because a team wins, they should automatically be favored the next
He
week.
just makes things up. There he goes,
If they beat
Staltering again.
Georgia, yes. They'd have been the favorite.
They might have been number one in the nation.
Marsh, what do you got for us?
I got our 3 stars of the day. How about that?
Let's do it.
It's time for the Fastlane's 3 stars of the day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to Flash Gordon.
Flash. That was pretty cool, man. Not gonna lie.
2nd star of the day goes out to Room Service.
Yeah,
Carey.
especially during the Gauntlet, huh?
Absolutely.
Boy, Carey.
And of course, our 1st star of the day goes out to Managing Agriculture.
Yes, you have to.
Somebody's
you
gotta
really
do it,
have
right?
to. Yep. Got to manage that
Interested in
agriculture.
farmland, don't forget to call AgVest.
Yep. You know, they're not making land anymore, Jamie.
They're not. I have someone who can manage it.
You're right. All right, that'll do it for us. Carey, good luck to your Fighting Illini tomorrow.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you back here on Monday. Go Mizzou, go Illini. For hockey, God's
Go Blues
sake,
tomorrow
let's
night.
go Blues.
Woo-hoo!
Can you figure it out, will you? Time's the game tomorrow. Do they know? 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. 7 o'clock
I need
Eastern.
to get there.
6 o'clock Central.
The puck will drop at
I
6.
need to get there a little early.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them the game's at 5:30.
It's not a bad
There you
idea.
go.
Not a
5
bad
o'clock.
idea at all.
5 o'clock.
Again, everybody, hope you have a great weekend. We appreciate you being tuned in throughout the course of the week. We'll be back on Monday. We'll break down all the college football, all the NFL, all the Blues action, and cover whatever else goes on over the weekend. A lot of stuff. For Jamie Rivers, for Carey Davis, for Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.